All right. All right. All right. All right. I think we live. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Damn, I hate this MacBook camera. I should be using my iPhone camera, to be honest with y'all. It's like not centered at all. Give me 1 second. Are you live on your channel, Dennis? What up, y'all?
So we live, right? Just making sure.
Yeah. Can y'all able to hear me?
Okay, we hear you.
All right, bet. How's it looking on your side, Dennis? You live on your channel as well?
I'm going right now to set it up. Your YouTube channel, how do you spell it exactly on YouTube? Because for some reason your old channel keeps popping up.
Welfare World.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Literally how I got it spelled underneath my banner.
Okay, I got you. Yep, I'm about to go live right now on my channel. And I'm going to mute the audio and tell people to come over to yours.
Bet. I'm gonna let you set your thing up. Once you set your thing up, then we'll kind of get into it. It's no point in really starting anything up on my end for right now. I don't have that many followers. I ain't even gonna hold y'all. We got one person live right now.
Let's see. Paste. Remember, when you after you chop it up and all that, I mean, you're gonna get people that's gonna watch the whole thing because they just don't know that you did it. So don't worry about that. I mean, it's still gonna be good.
Yeah. Nah, you're right.
All right, so now I'm about to post the link and we'll be good to go. You know, Sunday is the worst day for me also.
Really? Why?
Because you get the least amount of viewers on Sunday because that's just a bad day for me on my channel. Not for everybody, you know, on YouTube, but just for me. Damn. Oh, okay. You know what? Actually, I take it back. I'm not live yet. So, because Kevin, he just
we got 15 in here right now. That's crazy.
Oh, good. So,
wow.
I'm about to go live right now.
Bet. All right. So, and again, Chopper, if you want to go live too on your cam, you can. If you want to, you don't. If you don't want to, just depend on how you feel throughout the conversation. Shout out to you, Annie. Shout out to Annie Rodriguez in the building. But yeah, today's topic: modern love or modern warfare. Which one is it? It gets real spicy amongst us on our daily grind trying to find love. But today we're gonna have some special guests on the channel. We got Chopper, we got Cali Girl, we got Raimi, we got the Amazing Hustler. The Amazing Hustler is a known face amongst the YouTube channel, kind of guiding me along the way as well. Shout out to him. But yeah, we kind of get into it. I'm gonna kind of just moderate the conversation. I guess I'll talk about the shout out to Kevin, shout out to Caleb. Make sure y'all like and subscribe as well, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. He up there in Lakeland. Okay, shout out Florida in the building. I see. But I guess the premise of the conversation is it started from an interesting one. We have two strong-minded, educated women on the panel today as well. Shout out to Chopper, shout out to Cali Girl, holding it down. Me and Chopper, we had a long conversation actually talking about the dating world. And one of the most interesting things we actually talk about is what it is that women are actually looking for and what it is that men are looking for in the dating world. Now, without going too deep into what it is that we talked about, Of course, being a male and having a man's perspective on what it is men are looking for, I could speak until the cows come home on what we're looking for. But I thought it was best that we have an open panel discussion about it. So it's just not my point of view. And so today, that's why we're all here together, so we can all have come together and have a real conversation. So we're gonna drop the link in the chat as well, so that if anybody feels the need to want to come up, of course, what we ask first is that you cam up before you go live, so that we can verify that you're a real person. We don't want to have this channel demonetized for any like nudity, anything like that. So what we ask is, before we do allow you to go live, is that you do cam up backstage, show that you're a real person, and then we'll allow you to come on stage. Just make sure that you stick to the topic and that you do have some type of value to bring to the conversation. Without further ado, if one of y'all want to go first, take the reins, get into it. Let's hit it.
Ladies first.
No, I don't know.
Well, in this particular conversation, you know what? How about this?
Just start the topic. What's the topic? I mean, just start the first topic.
Who's really winning in this dating field right now?
Nobody. Nobody.
I agree. No one.
Nobody.
No, I think people who are let's just say old school are winning. But guys who are taking care of business, they can actually take care of their women who's willing to be taken care of, who's willing to, actually want to be a helpmate to a man. They're winning still. It's just the single women who, independent, don't need a man for anything. They're the ones losing for the most part. And then men who are broke, dusty, same way I was for, a few years, they're losing because they think they should get the women, even though they're not really qualified to have a woman. So I think they're all losing.
I'm gonna let you finish. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying they're all losing, but the guys who are like taking care of business and the women who's willing to, be the helpmate, they're all winning right now in America, at least.
So here's my take on it. My thing is, I keep hearing, this term on Threads, Twitter, social media, this whole male loneliness epidemic. And it's, a lot of single men apparently who are, around ages late 20s to, late 30s. I actually personally know a lot of
shout out Rocco
40-something-year-old men who are divorced.
Shout out Bracy.
And don't plan to get married and whatnot. So, okay, here, a couple things just to touch on what you said, Dennis. The whole the independent single woman thing. It's like, I just feel like there's no such thing as that. Like, that's a typical adult. We get told that all the time. We're not even allowed to say, "Oh, I wish I had a man, take care of me," or whatever. Like, we can't say or even if we make a comment like, "Oh, men these days don't even help women, with their bags anymore." Like, just to throw out an example, instead it's like, "Oh, well, you're an independent woman, this and that." It's like it's used as a weapon. Like, it's like being a functioning normal adult in today's world. Because let's be real, if you don't live with your parents, you're single, you're a single independent person, male or woman. Like, that's the norm. So this whole single independent woman trope, it's like, that's just what it is. You're a normal functioning adult in this society who just so happens to be unmarried. You don't hear nobody say, "Oh, single independent men." Like, that's just, no, you're a normal functioning adult. It's just, for some reason, it's weaponized against women who fall into that unmarried group, around a certain age. If you're not living with your parents, I mean, that's just what it is. So I don't buy into that whole single independent, that's just, that's just what it is. Like, what's the other alternative? Be broke, stay with your parents, marry a man for money? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, do y'all get what I'm saying? Like, today's world is different. Like, women can have jobs. Women can, go to school. Women, have that freedom and that option. We have options to like live on our own. So it's just kind of like, okay, well, so damned if you do, damned if you don't. What's the alternative here? What is the alternative to a single independent woman?
I agree with most of the things you said, but you got to understand, like, most of the women, like, not all women gonna think like the way you do. Most of women, when you say independent, they always want to come off kind of like, oh, I don't need a man to make me happy. Oh, I don't need a man to do that. I don't need a man to do that. It's kind of repetitive, and it's kind of annoying, and you could kind of see why guys say that they don't want to deal with. I mean, if you're independent, you know, you could be by yourself. So, like, some women, they'll claim like, oh, I don't even need a man to switch out my tires. You know what I'm saying? Knowing damn well they don't know how to switch tires. But I do agree with some points. But majority of women, when it comes to the independent thing, they don't really mean it as like, oh, paying bills or anything like that. They just mean like they don't need a man to make them happy.
Like it's like a flex, basically, that like, oh, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, I used to be, you know, have that mentality, but as I got older and as I healed, I will say that that mentality that you're describing, like, I've noticed the women that have that, they're unhealed women who have a lot of trauma, who they're programmed, their nervous system is programmed to not be able to depend on anybody because they've been disappointed so many times. They still have a lot of trauma. They have a very negative view on men in general. Like, you know, these women could have been raped. These women could have like come from abusive homes. Like, you know, this is just my personal observation of what I've seen. And, you know, like based on statistics, like that whole like mindset where that hyper independence mindset, that definitely stems from trauma and like the reluctance to ask for help. So that's just kind of like kind of what I observed, like as I got older and as I healed, and like I kind of view things differently now. But yeah, I hear you. Like there's definitely a population of women out there who have that mindset.
I have a question for y'all.
Right.
Wait, hold on, Craig. Before you finish, let me just finish that.
Let me respond also after you get that, Remy.
Okay, yeah, and also you also got to remember, some women are not even traumatized. They just be around the wrong friend group, that they be around other females that is traumatized, and they just pick up that bad habit. So, and I've been seeing that time to time. Like, a woman can just have, like, they could get their first love and deal with one man, and then if that one dude breaks up with them or do something that they didn't like, they put that in all men. Like, I literally see that, and women do that all the time. Like, they be like, oh, you guys ain't this, all you guys the same. It's like, no, you just dealt with one dude that did you bad, and now you're putting that on every dude.
I don't think that comes from necessarily one experience. It probably could be that this has just been their experience with multiple men, and it just kind of added up over time. And like,
you be shocked how many like, and that's the thing too. After you deal with that one man that acts that way, usually females just attract to that one man that act that way. So they'll you know what I'm saying? Like, they have that saying, you can't be the first good dude she have, because she's not gonna know how to treat a good dude.
but also I don't think that's like just specific to women. Like I know a lot of men too who like have that mentality, oh, women ain't shit, or they have multiple experiences with like bad relationships, or like, you know, whatever the case may be, and they have that say, I've heard this, you know.
Yeah,
Men
of course.
talk so much shit about women because of their experiences. So it's definitely not just women doing
No,
that.
of course. I'm not saying it's just not women, because men do it too. So, but I'm just saying that you know, it's not, some women don't even go to trauma. It's just they just be around the wrong crowd, and that's what feeds them that information.
So what do y'all think of the saying? Like I keep hearing like single women keep other women single, but it's like I just feel like same with both genders. Like men too, the men who have that mentality, they have homeboys who think the same way. Like, oh, women ain't shit, or like, oh, you know, just toxic shit. Like, I just feel like toxicity, if you're around it, that's all you're gonna know. But what do y'all think of that? Like, do y'all think single people keep other people single?
I think a single mindset keeps other single people single.
That's good.
I,
That's
I,
good.
I do think single people do keep single people because because I seen recently like a bunch of women be like, oh, I divorced my husband after 15 years because my girlfriend told me I could find better and stuff like that, and then now they regretting it. So yeah, single people do keep single people.
I think Cali girl, if you want to respond to that, I think you were trying to jump in. You want to jump in before I go?
I was just saying, like, I know I don't want to sound bad, but I definitely know some men that got cheated on when they were 14 and they're still punishing women at 30. So
I agree.
like,
I
yeah,
completely
like
agree.
like I'm not saying that women don't do that either, but what I'm saying is like
Mhm.
women are on average a lot more equipped on how to handle trauma and how to process that. Also, because a lot more women are likely to go get therapy and go seek the tools and figure all that out. But a lot of men internalize all that stuff. So yeah, like I have multiple family members. Like I was literally talking to my cousin the other day because he lost his kid. His kid lives out of state. All this other stuff, and I'm like, why do you do that? Like you had a whole family. Are you stupid? And he was like, oh, well, this and that. And we are talking about things. And I'm like, yo, go heal, you dumb mother effer. Like, you
Ooh,
lost your whole family and
ooh.
your kid and everything because you still hurt from back then?
Oh, so
What are you
here's what
doing? You a
so here's
grown
what I
man.
noticed. Like, okay, and I want look, the men in this panel, I even in the comments, like y'all drop a comment, like, here's what I noticed. You know how I mentioned the whole male loneliness epidemic and whatnot? I don't hear a female loneliness epidemic because here's what I've been noticing. And this is just, like what I see on social media and my personal experiences, like as a single woman in her 30s, like I've noticed that all the women, the single women in my circle, and, like what I've seen on social media who are, 30 plus, 40 plus, still single, they are thriving. They are going to therapy. They are trying to become better versions of themselves. But I do not see that. And a common complaint we have, like, we do not see that same effort from men in our age group who are single. Like, they rather self sabotage rather than, you know, focus on personal improvement. Like, you don't hear men, go to therapy. You don't hear men like try to like, address their traumas or their wounds that keep attracting, these situations. It's like that's why there's a male loneliness epidemic. Like I've known grown ass men who still have like that immature mindset of like, oh, playing women, lying and manipulating. And yeah, like you don't really see. That's why you see a lot of like single older men who really don't have much going for them, and yet like
But
their female counterparts have like careers
I,
and
I,
shit, making more
I feel
money.
like that's kind of untrue. There's plenty of guys that do go to therapy that deals with things. There's one like okay, like perfect example, Dennis, like that's a man that he's working on himself. He was crashing out. Now the man is, he picking up jobs. He's doing yard work. He's fixing himself. He's actually, behind closed doors do confine the people to to fix himself. So that's cap. There's plenty of men that does go to therapy and stuff. There's guys that actually, if you go on, search it up, that are actually happy being single because of trauma that women bring to their past. So that's too. And then is one thing that Cali girl said, that women know how to deal with emotion and stuff like that. That's cap. That's also cap, because women are just, they are terrible with emotions. Um, Also,
No, what I said are women are more well equipped to deal with it. And it's not because they're women necessarily, it's because the socialization of the
The support
genders.
system, we do have
It's
more
it's
support
it's the
system.
it's the expectations of
okay, but your
what
support
society
system,
and pressures that society
yeah,
puts on men
okay,
versus society putting on women.
okay, but the support system you have is, if they care for you as an individual. If you know, if you, because I've seen it, like women would like do some foul stuff, but the homegirls will be like, yeah, it's okay, girl. You had a reason to do that. Like they will never hold the other woman accountable for what they do, for the actions. And just to sidetrack a little bit, like men like do handle, like go to therapy and stuff like that. That's why you see kind of men do, like they'll be fat in a relationship after they break up. They use the gym as therapy. They use other things as therapy. Like look at Will Smith. After the whole thing, he went to a whole different country to get the, just to meditate and work on himself. So that whole thing, the whole thing you just said was kind of.
Well, I mean, but like I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm just saying, like, based on, like I said, I know my experiences and the experiences of, a lot of women that I know personally and what I see on social media. Like, I know that doesn't define what's factual. I'm not saying at all there aren't men going to therapy. I know there definitely are. But I'm just saying, like, a common complaint that I've noticed among men, among women, including myself, like the type, maybe it could be my city. We don't have too many dateable men here in Houston. That's just facts. Houston, it was like rated number one of the worst cities for dating. And there's a reason to it. People just are toxic. People just don't,
Yeah,
but
Craig is one of them. But
I'm in a healthy, thriving relationship.
Yeah. It was not always like that. But no, but that's also a thing too, Chopper. Like where you located, it also can impact the views of how you see relationship. Like if you're in a city of, like, let's say London, right? They say London is the place of love, right? Then you probably will see your opinion on love or how you approach it would probably be way different than how you.
Oh, I agree. I'm sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess, like, our viewpoints are definitely shaped by like our experiences, right? So it's like it's hard to say, it's hard to say what's true and what's not. That's why I don't like to say, stereotype men in general. Like I don't want to do that because I know like the other side of the world has it way different than what I'm used to seeing here. But I'm just saying, like, what I'm used to seeing here, yeah, like for the most part, men just like to play games, like, especially the grown ones, like the 40-plus-year-olds who still are
Okay,
playing childish, like.
y'all gotta let me jump in on this now. Okay, so Jesus Christ, this is some nasty work. I'm sorry, Craig. Some nasty work going on. First off, men going to therapy is beta. Okay. When I was going to therapy, I was absolutely on beta male mode. All I had to do was go get a job and it fixed all my problems. I didn't need therapy. I know for some reason I'm like going in slow motion on the screen, but I hope is the audio good?
Yeah, you straight in my end.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we
that's beta. All the man has to do is go get a job, then it fixed all my problems. Getting a job, no more depression, no more excuses for being a weak man. So didn't need therapy. Okay, that was an excuse for me to ultimately hide the fact that I was dusty, lazy, and weak. Because on top of that, for a Cali girl who's my ex, Chopper, she actually was telling me to go. She was telling me to go get a job, and instead of me going to get a job, I was making excuses, and she had to pick up the slack. I was being a weak man. Secondly, Craig,
Hold on. Listen, I'm not gonna cut you off, but I gotta stick up for my friend. Listen, guys, I'm not even gonna hold y'all. She really, and I'm not even trying to pull some Dennis shit, but like she really don't have to show her face if she don't want to, because she looks exactly how she looks in her photos.
Hold on. Hey, if y'all want me to show face, let me drop my Cash App real quick. If I get a certain amount of bills, and I'll do a face reveal. How about that?
No, for real though. But she really does look exactly like she does in the
Yeah,
photo.
I'm not catfish, I promise.
Like she not a catfish. Like this is my real life homie. Like real shit. We grew up together. So I wouldn't have a catfish or anything like that on my channel. So y'all didn't even gotta worry about that. So but continue, y'all.
Okay, so back to the point. Once again, going to therapy is beta. Now, next thing is this. The reason why this whole dating in Houston and anywhere for women is hard is because you guys, and we're allowed to cuss, right, Craig?
Absolutely, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, be
So
yourself, bro.
I'm gonna go demonic when I say this. I'm gonna go demonic. I'm gonna say you guys have terrible coochie management. So the problem you guys face is, and I don't know about you, Chopper, and I don't know about Cali Girl, but
Whoa,
you
that's
guys
a
are
bold
giving up.
statement.
Yes, you guys are giving up the coochie to guys that aren't qualified. First off, as a woman, okay, I get the pass due to the fact that
The
I'm
tea
just
is
cool, I'm
hot.
chill. I got the package. Cali Girl enjoyed me, and women enjoy. So I can skirt by being dusty and broke because they see potential. But a lot of these dudes have no potential. They play video games all day. They're never gonna get a job, and they don't try to make any money. They don't rub your feet, rub your head after you have a long day
Oh,
at
that
work. 'Cause you're
part.
paying all the bills. They're gonna take your car and go smash other chicks while you're at work. Y'all deal with those type of dudes who can't pay
Yo,
bills. If you
Dennis, you hit
crash
it.
out,
Hold on.
if you crash out, if you lose your job, you can't rely on that man. You're done. That's what I was, and that's what a lot of these men are. These are the guys you guys are choosing
You
instead of
gotta
a Craig.
exactly.
I don't know if Rami is working right now or whatever.
It
I
is
don't know if he
going
does. But here's the point. Y'all can choose a Craig or a Remy, but y'all gonna choose a Dennis, okay, from a week ago. Dusty, because you guys have bad coochie management. And then you try to put that on all men. You can go get, a guy that's literally paying the bills. There's a bunch of men out here that are successful, that are qualified, no kids doing their thing. But those guys aren't cool enough because you guys want to be have that whole independent, I don't need no man mentality because these men are weak. No man wants that. No man wants a woman who don't want to be a woman. Where God put us on this earth. I'm a man, you're a woman. You're supposed to be more of a helpmate. You're supposed to make a mean sandwich. You're supposed to be able to want to please your man in bed. It's not the man pleasing you. All these things, but you guys don't want to do that no more. You want this equality. We're partners. And Cali Girl tell you, you're partners in regards to you're not my slave. Cali Girl, she's not my slave. But at the same time, she's still a woman, and we still have roles. I'm the one supposed to risk my life, which I don't want to risk, but I got to. Somebody comes in with a chopper or whatever, ready to tear it up because I have the audacity of protecting my property. I got to take that bullet and push you out the door. Not like Breonna Taylor, for example, her boyfriend who pushed her in the way of the bullets and ran away. No, I got to take those bullets. Situation is, until you women get better coochie management and stop allowing guys without no money or no job, without having education or any type of qualification. He has like 6 kids and you guys are still dating that guy. Like, you shouldn't be dating a man with more than 2 baby mamas. That period. If you get 2 baby mamas, you're done. Okay, you're done as a man. You guys love those dudes. So with that said, he doesn't have a LinkedIn. You shouldn't be dating them either. Okay.
Wait.
Look, man. No,
I can go on and on and on, but you go ahead. I'll let y'all go.
Hold on. Just to want to
this man.
Wow, this nigga Dennis. But just to say, this nigga. Wow. Okay. Just to say, back to what you said, Dennis. When you said a job because men don't need therapy. Yes, I do. No, I feel like men do need therapy because Craig will tell you. I was at one point working like 3 jobs. I barely sleep. Job not gonna fix what trauma that has that you facing demons. So I do advise every man. It's easy for you to say that because you outside looking. Wait.
What trauma though? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm gonna be real. Listen. I'm gonna be real though, Rami.
Yeah.
I don't, y'all. You know me. I always have said like, I personally don't believe that men learn from therapy. Personally.
No.
I think that men learn from experiences. They learn from seeing that, okay, I'm at this point and I'm growing. Men learn through growth for the most part. Like the only time therapy tends to work for men, in my opinion, is when it comes down to like war trauma, like PTSDs, stuff like that. Like me talking about the BS my mama put me through, or the BS my daddy put me through, or the BS my girl put me through. Like me just talking about that. Like I feel like talking does nothing for men. Action is what changes a man's mind.
Talking is beta.
Wait, but just to go back to what you said, Craig. Yes, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying, even if you just talk to your homeboy and stuff like that, that's still a sign of therapy. Like if you have going through something, that's still a sign of therapy. It don't matter how you look at it. It's still because you went to somebody and you went to vent. That is a
Yeah.
sign of therapy.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
but
That's
to answer
therapy.
Dennis, yes, men need therapy. You just can't hold that. It's gonna break you. You just can't hold that shit in anymore. Like you're gonna at one point, you know. And like I said, like maybe Dennis, you went to Cali Girl on a situation that you know you couldn't go tell your mom or your brother or your that's a sign of therapy. You went to somebody. You understand? So
Can you give
because
an
you couldn't keep it
example?
in.
Can you give an example of a situation why a guy would need a therapist? Because for needing a therapy is beta, because everything with men can be fixed off of just fixing your life or talking to
So
somebody like Craig who keep it real with you. Like
So
Nav,
then-
for example,
But
if
that's
I
a
Nav
think
form of
listening, he'll tell
therapy.
you I'm
That's
his
discussing
therapist.
your feelings.
Okay, but Dennis, that's okay. You just answered the question. You his therapist, like that's therapy. Like he went to you for something. Like
so no. So
No, it's
listen.
conversation.
So Remy, here's the problem, and I think this is the biggest problem. One of the biggest problems I feel like is therapy culture in general. I think the term therapy like even in dating, right? I've heard it a lot. As a person that's in a relationship, I've heard both sexes like throw this term against each other where they'll be like, oh, he needs therapy. He needs therapy, especially coming from women. They'll be like, he needs therapy. He needs therapy. Oh, I'm not going to talk to any man that didn't receive therapy. And when they say therapy, they're not talking about
And they're not even healed themselves.
hold up, that too, but it's not like they're talking about a man that talked to his homeboy. No, they want this motherfucker to be talking to a therapist. They want a man to be going to actively pay for a therapist. And so that's where me and Dennis are coming from when we're coming from saying like, oh, we don't believe in going to a therapist, because when women throw therapy on us, they throw it as in seeing a fucking psychiatrist. They want it to be peeled the fuck up type shit. They wanted some Klonopins. And
Okay.
so go ahead.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Okay,
But like
Remy,
you-
let me go after you because this got touched. If you don't mind, let me just say this one thing. Here's the situation. This whole trauma and all this words you guys are using, this healing word. The reason why you guys got to heal because dudes are choosing women while we're young and we got a little bit going on. We choose women with fat asses and freaking big titties, like a big rack. We're choosing those kind of women who are going to more than likely cheat on you and put you through hell because they're going to go for the next big guy, like the guy that got more money than you, the guy that got a bigger house than you, or whatever. But if you go with a woman who's like literally a regular chick, sweet, cute, but not crazy beautiful, if you can, of course, maintain that your lifestyle you're giving her that got her originally, then ultimately you wouldn't have to heal as a man. Women, if you stop going for guys are cheating on you. A football player in the NBA, a football player in the NFL, an NBA player is going to cheat on you. So I don't get why date that guy. That's stupid. So what I'm saying is you need to like understand, stay in your lane, stay at your level, and then you won't have to heal because all the women that complain, they keep dealing with bad boys.
No,
Stop dealing with bad
Just
boys.
because
Lead a pack,
you're an
pass along.
NFL player, NBA player doesn't mean you don't get to hold yourself accountable if you make a commitment to somebody.
But
That
it's
makes
going to
zero
cheat.
sense.
No,
No,
so here's
but
the thing.
but that's not okay because why even start a relationship? Obviously, that person loves you and you love that person and all that. But being a professional in that situation, then don't make a commitment to a woman because she obviously wants to be with you.
But don't
So
go
So
for those
it's
guys.
simple
They're
for
gonna
that
lie to
dude.
you.
Just stay
Here's
single
my-
if you want
here's
to act
my
like
take
that.
on it. Like, you got it. No,
I'm
everybody's
gonna be
got to
at those
heal
NBA
through
players, I bet
traumas.
you.
What? If you want a healthy relationship, like, I'm not saying go heal through trauma. You don't have to go through therapy necessarily. You have to do some level of inner work, though, whatever that looks like to you. You have to address what it is. Like, let's say you're somebody who's used to attracting toxic relationships, or touching on what you said, Dennis. Like, I agreed with everything you said about coochie management because, listen, and I do think a lot of women do need to hear that too. Like, and here's the crazy part: the women that are stepping their coochie game up, like, they're setting their standards. They're going celibate until they meet a man that meets their standards. They're having standards now. It's like we get docked for that too. People shit on us for having standards, and it's usually
Give us
coming from
some
men.
standards.
Oh, Choppa,
Give
yeah,
us
you
some
guys
standards.
are men, so you don't even understand. But it is so hard being a woman that just stays home and minds her business too. Cause then what's the
But
first
Valley
thing
girl, can
dudes
y'all
tell
give
you?
standards though?
They're like, oh, why don't you got no man? What are you
Now
doing?
listen, I
Why are
will
you home?
say,
This and that.
I will say once I did start, I'm not going to use the word celibate because that implies that I'm waiting till marriage and I'm not.
Whoa.
I'm just, like, let's say I'm staying abstinent until I meet a man who I feel is, meets my standards as far
Hey,
as like, the
what's your standards,
qualities.
Chopper?
All
What's your
right,
standards?
so well, if we want to go there, let me just say this. Look, if you're gonna have standards, you better make sure you meet those standards that you want in that person. Like I said, my standards, I require a man who is educated because I'm educated. I require a man who makes a certain income level or above because I make a certain level of income and above. I look for a man who is not
What's that
religious,
income
but
number though?
huh?
What's that income number? That's important.
Oh no, I'm not disclosing that.
No, I'm talking about for your man to make. What does your man have to make?
He has
So
to
we
make
can
at
know.
least he has to make at least 6 figures and above.
Okay, are you over 30 years old?
Mm-hmm.
No
I'm
offense if you
33.
are. Okay.
So yeah, so like that we have to have matching values. We're not going to agree on everything, of course, but values, like when it comes down to it, like your principles and your values, y'all have to align. I'm looking for somebody who is in alignment with me. You get what I'm saying? Like I need a man who is God fearing because I'm a follower of God. Like stuff like that. Like I look for certain qualities, and like also it doesn't even just stop there. I leveled it up to the treatment of what I get from these men. If a man, like I said, if a man lacks work ethic, if he lacks ambition, if he treats me a certain way that I do not like, then it's not going to work. Like, so that's what I mean by having
Yeah,
standards. Like,
but
not just the qualities you look for in a man, but
wait,
also
but
what you're willing to take and what you're not. Like, don't sleep with the man who you feel you got to take care of, because that's going to put a woman in her masculine energy rather than her feminine one.
okay, but that's like 1% of men that you just described, right? Like
No, it's not. Look up
wait,
the
wait,
statistics.
wait, wait. You because you asking for a lot, and don't mean
No,
that.
no, that's
Wait,
not
wait,
asking
wait,
for a
wait,
lot.
wait, wait,
I've met a
wait.
lot of men who meet that bare minimum.
Remember, you about to let her off the hook. You about to let her off the hook.
No,
Chopper,
I'm not.
what do you offer? What would you offer that man? Speaking of the fact, we don't care about your money. We don't care about your education. We don't care about none of that. And that man makes enough. They doesn't care about none of that. So what do you offer that man other than what you think he wants?
Let me put it this way. The men that I have dated, none of them have ever forgotten me. Reason being,
How do you know?
I have been even, and I'm talking about even the ones that weren't shit. Like by not shit, I mean like not even having that those qualities that I mentioned, like as far as income level and all that stuff. But he treated me well. Like, the men that I did leave an impression on, like I will say the reason why I left that impression on them is because I encouraged them. I uplifted them. I supported their dreams.
So
I
why
put both
aren't you
life
with any
into
of those
them.
men then?
Hmm?
I'm confused.
Because they failed to there's a
They're
lot.
bad
There's a
guys.
lot that
They're
goes
more
into
likely.
it. There's a
They're
lot that goes into it, but not
I
getting
think
into
bad
too
coochie
deep in it.
management.
No, it's not bad coochie management. It comes down to also communication issues. Just because something seems right on paper and things, work out great the first couple months, like that doesn't mean that y'all are necessarily going to be 100% compatible. And if communication, like that's a huge thing. I'm
Okay,
not going
but
to say,
So, hold
I'm not
on.
even going to
So,
wait, let me
stereotype and say men lack
hold on. Time
communication
out. So, right now, I want to give the voice of the chat. Like, so we're gonna do like a quick, because we only got one spot for this. Because I don't have the full, obviously, the full StreamYard thing. So we only got one spot that I can keep turning through. So, driving the wealth. If you have something to add to the conversation, go ahead, add it. If not, I'm gonna bring Nab up, and then let Nab add something, and then we'll keep like interchanging y'all, and I'll just have y'all like backstage, like taking turns, if that's okay with y'all.
No, for sure. I just want to stop
The
in.
reason why I want to bring you up is because of your dynamic with your relationship.
Yeah. I mean, what? How
I'm
does
gonna
that?
describe it briefly because this is on my channel now. So this is a newer channel. So if you want to briefly describe your relationship situation.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Let me find
While he gets that done, just to go back, Chopper, like I do feel like the good guy you said that treated you well just because he didn't have like the income, you probably just kick him to the curb. But he
No,
actually
no, 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 no. Look, Craig knows the story really well. Like, Craig,
because
this is
I'm because it's just kind of crazy to me because you say you leave blueprints, you make guys miss you and stuff like that. But I'm just kind of like you shouldn't be single, especially a woman that's making
so
six
okay,
figures.
but the thing is, I
I
am
think
though, and
I
there are a lot of women like me who are on the same boat. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I have these great qualities and I know what I bring to the actually, you know what? I don't even like that term. What do I bring to the table? Like, I know what the fuck I stand for. You know, and like, yes, I have my
See,
flaws.
that's
Everybody
women
got
right
their
there. You
flaws.
guys don't want to offer nothing, but for the most
No,
part, no offense, but
when did
coochie.
I imply
Because I'm saying, can you
that I
name
offered
one other
nothing
thing
though?
other than
Like
coochie you would offer a man that a
when
man
did
would
I
actually
imply that
need?
I offered nothing though? When I literally just said, you know, what I said, why I left an impression on some of the men I dated. Now, the reason why it didn't work out is because of various factors. Like, y'all don't know anything about the man that, one of the men that treated me really well. Reason why that didn't work out because he got locked up and he had a criminal record and it was just never going to go anywhere.
But why would you
It
be
was
with a guy
not.
like that? That's what I mean by bad coochie management. Why would you be with a
That was
guy when
bad coochie
you could have
management.
had
And
a
again,
Remy, you could have had a
that
Remy
was bad
or
coochie
Craig.
management. That was bad coochie management. But like I said, I was still learning. I was still healing. Like
No excuse.
who I am right now, I would not date somebody like that again. But
So why
once I did,
are you punishing all men though by saying,
I'm
oh, there ain't no men in
not.
Houston? You just said that
When did
there's
I
no good
imply
men, but
that?
there's a
I
lot of
did
good men
not.
in Houston.
No, no, no. Like that was just a one-off. I'm just saying who I dated after that, my most recent one. Reason why that didn't work out was because sometimes men, and I'm sure y'all experience this with women too, things seem great. It seems perfect in the beginning. They're everything you hoped and dreamed that you could have in a man or a woman, whatever the case. Like they seem like the complete total package. They got everything you want. They meet your standards. Blah blah blah. 2 months in, they switch up on you. They start treating you a certain way. Their true colors come out. People can only put on a mask in the first few weeks of dating. They can only hold that persona so long until the true colors come out. That's what I'm saying. It comes down to character. Just because somebody has like, the qualities and like all this stuff, that doesn't mean that their character is not poor.
But I'm just saying, like you with your standards, that's kind of like a hard thing for a guy to maintain. Like he have to
No,
be
it's
successful.
not.
Wait,
No,
wait,
it's not.
wait, because he have to. You saying that he have to be successful.
Yes.
He have to be this and that and stuff like that. Things happen. Guys lose their job. Right? Celebrities go broke in just by one incident. Like it's just not like that all 24/7. Like it's just not like that. And it's
Of
like the
course
day
it's
he
not.
wait,
But
so the
that
day
man
wait,
is more
wait,
likely.
so the day he
But that
loses
man
his
is more
job,
likely.
wait, the day he loses his job and he made, let's say he got into an accident, he's crippled, he can't do his job, he can't walk and stuff like that. You're gonna leave him just because he doesn't make that much figure?
No, of course not. I never said that. And that's the thing. You're implying that I'm that type of person when I never once like said that I would leave. If I'm locked in with the man that I love and he had all the qualities I looked for when I first started dating him and we're locked in like that, like let's say we're married, we're like about to get married, whatever. I love this person unconditionally. Of course, I would not leave them if shit hits the. That's the whole point of being locked in with somebody. When shit hits the fan, y'all got to be there for
Yeah,
each
but
other.
with women, y'all gonna get locked in whoever you guys choose to love. And
Mm,
sometimes you guys will say you guys
Well,
want
and
this.
that's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah,
why I'm
but you,
going back
you
to like.
yeah, but you guys will say you guys want this and that. Like Dennis said, like you guys will say you want this and that, but you would date
But
somebody,
that's what
you know, like that
that's what
doesn't
I'm
have
saying.
that.
Like that's what I'm saying. And like you said, coochie management. Like you gotta up your standards. You can't be falling for just anybody. And that's the
But
thing. And you're just contradicted yourself in a way. Like
how come guys can't?
you're chastising women for having standards by saying
No, I'm not. I just
no,
said
no,
you.
no. You're
I
saying
just,
y'all
I
need to
just
step
said.
your,
Wait,
y'all
I
need
just
better
said.
coochie
I
management.
just said
Okay,
you
well
had
we
great
got
standards.
better coochie management, so now it's like,
I
oh,
never said
well,
the Gucci man. That's
Re-
not me that said the Gucci management. that was Dennis.
No,
I just
Remy,
said it.
Remy. She needs a white guy. You just tell her straight up. She needs a white guy. I'm pretty sure, Chopper, you probably don't date white guys. You need you a good old white man. You need to go. You need to go to a school, a high
What?
school. Go get you a
dude,
white
you
guy
don't even know, like,
with a pension, Social Security, and all
dude,
that.
you
No,
know
I'm just saying.
nothing. You know nothing about like my background for you to be like calling out like certain, like you can't just stereotype me like that either. I think here's here's the thing about you, Dennis.
You
Like
look like you
you
are
look like
too good for a white guy. And I'm just saying, I
you
think that
look like
you go for like a
I'm
superstar type of man.
open
What
to all
does that
types
even
of
white man.
listen.
What does
I'm
that
open to
even
all
mean?
types of races, and I have dated different types of races and cultures. Like I said, leaving that out, like you can't just stereotype me and like you can't just stereotype people. Like I keep telling Craig this, like you can't stereotype people because you don't
No,
know
I tell
what
all women
certain.
to go get them a good old white man. I tell all women. I tell black women. I tell Cali girl. I tell all the women. I mean, you might have little meat, but I mean, straight up, go get you a white man. Other than don't go get a driving to wealth. No offense, driving to wealth, but go get a white guy.
But
Okay,
wait,
that's all I'm
before
saying.
okay,
So,
but before
are y'all gonna let him? Are y'all gonna
Or
let him down
Indian
talk?
or
Are
Indian
y'all
or
gonna
Asian
let him
guy,
down
and you'll
talk
be
every other
happy.
race like this? Like,
No,
are y'all
because he'll
really
do
gonna let
anything.
him
He'll
like?
do anything you want him to do. I'm just saying, Chopper. He'll let you do anything. This a lot of this is satire, Chopper. I'm just playing. It's all good.
I'm
cool.
like, dude, how are you gonna
No,
But
talk
seriously, go
down
get
on
you a
like
white guy though.
other?
yeah, but I don't want.
Like
I don't want.
you saying that makes it sound like you're talking down on all other
Yeah,
groups of men.
but like
No, I'm just saying it's more
For
like
real.
with white guys, they'll be more submissive. They usually earn more money per
But I
year,
don't want to
and they're gonna.
submit. Nobody, look, y'all keep saying, "Oh, men should lead," and blah blah blah. But it's like you cannot. What makes you think women want a submissive man? Like
Because that's what the strong, independent women would be able
no.
to keep.
Well, here's the thing. Like you
Submissive, weak
said,
beta male.
look, like you said, better coochie management. Me being, and like I said, I don't follow. I don't like that trope, like that single independent woman shit. Like that's by default. That's you're a functioning adult. Let's be real. You're just a functioning adult who happens to be unmarried. Of course, you got to handle bills and make your ends meet by whatever means necessary if you're not living with your parents, right?
But don't you
That
want to get
being
married
said,
though?
look, let me finish. Of course I do. Of course I do. Like
Yeah, that's
I can't
black
speak
guys.
for every woman. I
marry.
cannot.
We don't marry often. I'm just saying if you're
But
gonna be
that's
like
what
a
I'm saying.
long-term
Like
girlfriend for like 8 years before you get married. To
okay.
us, Craig ain't
Anyways,
gonna marry. Craig said he ain't gonna
But
marry at all.
that's what I don't get
but
when you're
here's the thing.
saying
Like
Don't
things
marry.
like that.
those are not men
No,
that
I'm
I
telling you,
find
black men
marriageable.
just don't get married.
Hold on.
Oh, but
Hold on. Let's hear from
I don't
Cali girl.
understand.
Let's hear from
Do you wanna like
Mhm.
date a broke person? Like, do you want to date a dependent? Like, do you want to date a
No, not at
child,
all.
a
You don't
That's what
want
childlike
I'm
that.
adult?
confused about. I'm like,
Yeah,
wait,
that's
single
see, and
independent women,
that's
like
the
you're a
thing.
functioning adult that makes money. What do you
That's the
mean?
thing I've never, ever, 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 ever
So,
understood when it comes to
let's stay
men.
on the topic real quick. So I do Nab, and I'm gonna let you go, Nab. But while we on this topic, I do want to ask then. So, are independent women undateable?
again.
A lot of them, yeah.
You kicked the
Look,
hornet's nest with that one, Craig.
They're
here's
for
my
the
thing.
streets.
Look, people are saying they're undateable because of this hyper independence mindset. Yes, having a hyper independence mindset is a trauma response. As somebody who is healing and addressing all this shit, like, yes, do I want to get married eventually? Yes. But also, too, I want it to be a happy marriage and I wanted it to be with, somebody who does love me and is not with me for convenience. And what does that mean? Yes, better coochie management. Like Dennis said, like that's why I keep saying, like, I agree with that. You have to have better coochie management with your standards. And that doesn't just go, in terms of qualities you look for in a man. That also goes for his character, his the way he treats the women in his family, the way he treats you. Like it's so many factors that go into that. And unfortunately, a lot of single women do not have the greatest experiences. When they have standards as far as like how a man treats them, and on top of that, having all the qualities that they look for. Like you said, look, you think we want to do everything ourselves our whole lives? Hell no, the fuck we don't. we want a man to make things easier for us. Now, when we look for a man who has that character, who can take the load off our plate, who can have the ability to lead, that is hard to find in today's world. That is hard to find. And I'm not the only woman in my age group who is single who says this. Like, I know plenty of women who feel the exact same way. So
Okay,
I think
hold
the
on. I
real
can help
question
you
is,
find. I can
Wait,
help you find
can I just go real
are
quick?
Hey,
single
Chopper,
men
can
in
you
the
put your
loneliest?
Instagram? Can you put your Instagram in the link so we can like
Yeah.
go and put your Instagram in the chat? I can help you.
Okay.
I can help you. I mean, you got
Okay.
Tinder, you got Bumble, you have
So
millions of
Let me
guys.
go
let's
real quick, y'all.
let's hear
Wait,
from
let
Nap.
Nap go.
All right. All right. I just want to say first, Craig, can you unblock me in the chat, please? All right. And second, and second,
Have
unblock,
you
man.
blocked
I
him
don't
in
know.
chat?
Yes. All right. Now, also, I just want to
My
say
bad, bro.
women, it's okay. I want to say women are innocent, perfect creatures. They're perfect in every way. That is all.
Beta,
Peace.
beta male.
See, this is why he's probably married and y'all ain't.
I don't even know how to hold on. How do I unblock
Beta.
him? I didn't
I
even
don't
know
want
how
to be perfect. I don't want to be on that pedestal.
I'm
I didn't
ashamed
even
of you,
know I
Nap.
unblocked.
Okay.
I'm ashamed
Yeah.
of you.
Nah, he just wanted to come here and troll. That he just wanted to come here and troll. No, but yeah,
No,
like,
but
but like I said, Chopper, I just feel like it's gonna be hard to find a man because like not all men's gonna hit that check box. You understand? I think you're just better off
those are
finding.
not even just like. Hold on. You're telling me to lower my standards. So you're telling me
I'm
to
not
like
telling you to lower your
to
standards. I'm
maintain
just telling you
to
if you think you're
downgrade
gonna.
my coochie management
Okay,
skills.
there
Is
we
what you're
go.
saying.
There we go. You're being masculine because I did not say
No,
to lower
because
your
like
standards. I did not say to lower your
that's where it
standards.
was
I lit.
going. That's where
Okay,
it was
that's what
going
you
to
think
though.
in your head. You thought that was going that way. I literally just said you're not gonna find a man that's gonna hit all the check box. He's gonna probably miss two of those things on your list. So if he missed two of those things on your list, is he not qualified? Is he still qualified?
Hey Remy, can I hit you with a Uno? Can I hit you with a Uno? Reverse
But my
Uno?
thing is, it's like those are not even like
No,
those aren't
no. Hey,
crazy
hey, Chopper,
qualifications though. They're
Chopper,
not. I
Chopper,
know
I
a lot of
got
men
you.
who fall into that.
Chop, I got you. Remy, can I hit you with a reverse Uno?
Go.
I heard this from another black woman after we beat her up for freaking like a year about the whole 80,000 or more. Why is it that black men, we, including myself, why are we always trying to make women lower their standards? Like all they want, if they want a guy that makes over 80,000, they want a man who won't cheat, they want a man that has a house, car, take care of business, allow them to be independent. Why should we make them lower their standards when white women and women all over the place in America, other than the black women and the women that date black women, they don't have to lower their standards. They could be a feminist, like a butch-looking woman, and they could still get a guy that's going to be making 100,000, might be a school teacher, might be a fireman, police officer in New York. They can still get that guy, and we're like, what is this overweight woman doing with this successful man? But like in our community, as black men, we got to have the best of the best for her to get anywhere near her standards. So my question is, why is it a cultural thing with us that we won't allow women to have standards? Like they got to settle for 40,000 a year. They got to settle for, for example, me driving a 2006 freaking, I forgot the name of the car, dusty car. I got the lowest of the lowest, and I don't date, but people are saying, Dennis, you deserve a woman. You deserve this. Charlie Rowe, you should be lucky to be with Dennis. But in reality, I was super dusty. And if I was a white guy, they would be like, dude, you shouldn't have a chick. You're dusty. You're broke. But because I'm a black guy, she should be happy to be with me just because I'm black, even though I'm dusty. So is that fair to Choppa that she got to lower her standards to be with us?
Okay, I'm gonna answer your question. One, like I said, I never told her to lower her standard. I just said it's gonna be kind of difficult to find a man that's gonna hit all those boxes. To answer your question, the black community been doing that. For myself, like I said, I respect everybody's standards. If that's who Chopper is looking for, she have all rights to do it, just like a man. If he doesn't want to date a ratchet chick and stuff like that, he have all the rights to. You understand? But that's just a black community thing. It's just for dusty men that know that they cannot hit a female's standards like that to justify that he's still qualified to hit her standards. It's just a black thing. I don't see kind of white men do that because like white men is just kind of like totally do for any situation. So That it's just the black race that actually do that. I don't even think Hispanic people do that. Hispanic
Did you say
men,
totally, dude? Like, were you
yeah,
impersonating a
yeah,
white man?
exactly, yeah. But I don't even see Hispanic men do that. It's just the black culture, and like I said, and it's just the black culture. Women do it, the black women do it, and the men do it. It's just to prevent the other person to look bad.
Well, Remy,
Y'all
can
hit
you
that
tell
like
these women,
subscribe button.
or Craig, can y'all tell the women what men want? Because I think these two independent women, the problem is they're delusional in regards
Yeah.
to what men want.
Delusional. How are we wrong for? Hold on, I'm
But
just confused.
no, no,
How
but I'm
is
no,
having?
wait, Trapper, before you go. But to answer his question, when it comes to men with standards, men will just date out of, okay, you look good, or if they find something in you, they'll take you as who you are. You know,
That's
as
bullshit.
no, that's not bullshit.
That's
Athletes do it.
bullshit.
No, athletes do it all the fucking time. They do
No,
that shit
that's
all the time.
bullshit.
They do that shit. Actors do all the time. If you look good, they just take you as who you are. It's not no bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Because
That's
wait,
bullshit. That is
how
100% bullshit.
So listen. So I want to ask a question that's based on topic again. And again, I'm here to ask some spicy questions. I'm more the moderator, and then I'll let y'all go from there. But Karina, one thing you said is your man has to make. I mean, my bad. Fuck.
Craig, we had this
I think
conversation. That's not a crazy, like, here's the thing,
hold on.
who we surround ourselves with is what we're accustomed to, right? I
So
know
hold on. I'm
plenty
trying to
of
work.
men who
I'm trying to
fall into that
so hold on.
group. So it's not crazy.
Hold on. So hold on. I'm trying to like phrase a question so that because I primarily want you and Cali girl to bounce off of each other when answering this question. Okay.
I'm sorry, Craig. Can I just say one thing before you say that?
Hold on. Because I want this is gonna be a really good question. With money being a large topic right now in the dating field, and when it comes to getting things going in America, getting a stable relationship going right now, with only 17% of men in America earning over $100,000 annually, and only about 8.4% of women are earning $100,000 annually. How is it possible to have the standard of finding a man that's making six figures realistic?
You want to know? Okay, look, those 8.4 women, you think that they're going to want you guys want a woman. Y'all said this plenty of times throughout the panel. Y'all want a woman who can allow you to lead. Am I right or am I wrong?
I didn't never said what I wanted to
Or, but that not maybe you specifically,
that was good. Okay.
Yeah, not you specifically, but the other two. They want to feel like.
Oh no, I haven't said
Craig,
anything. I haven't said anything.
Okay,
Yeah,
Dennis
I'm
said
moderating.
that. Dennis said that. Maybe it was just he was the only one who said that in this panel, but it echoed. It resonated to a lot of people, with a lot of men. But here's my thing. Y'all want that. Y'all want a woman to quote unquote submit. What makes you think that a woman who makes a certain amount of money can allow a man who makes, let's say, 50K or less to have the ability to lead a household?
Because
if a man's money ain't right, he's not going to know how to lead a woman who makes more than him, who is more educated than him. So for women who are of a certain standard, yes, they are going to want to date within their tax bracket and their education bracket. That's not a crazy thing.
Well, Chopper, this is the problem. This is all we're trying to say. You might get that unicorn guy, but the situation is you, with what you make, if you make over 100K, and then with your education, the guy that makes as much or more, he's going to have you. Hold 1 second, Chop. He's going to have you, and he's going to have 100,000 plus chicks, or millions actually, of chicks that's turning, for the most part, 21 every year that he could choose from. So my question to you is, no offense to you, it doesn't matter how you look. If he can have this fresh 21, 22-year-old chick that's going to be submissive, she's going to love everything he offers her. She's going to fall in love with him. He don't got to worry about her cheating 9 times out of 10 because she's going to be with him because, she's going to rely on him. And the situation is he's going to be able to take care of her and keep her at the home, to take care of business at the home. Why
Let
would
me tell you
he?
something.
Why would he
Let me tell
choose
you.
you over that woman when we
Let,
don't care
But
about
because it
education?
sounds
We don't
like
care
he
let me
about
tell
wants
you
money.
somebody.
something.
We don't
Let me
care
It
tell
about
you
that
sounds like
stuff.
he
something.
wants somebody that's
It
underdeveloped and he
sounds
wants
like,
No, a
control.
lot of
yes,
guys
that's
want
what it
that. A
does
lot of
sound
men
like.
want that when they make
Yeah,
that kind
but
of money.
No, that's not what a
that's
lot
not
of
a
men want.
real
Now
that's not a real
let me tell you
relationship.
I'm
something.
telling you what
Out of the
men want.
men,
I'm sorry. I'm a
out of the
man.
men that I
You're not a
have,
man. You're a woman. We can't
and
tell you what you want.
and mind you, just to be clear, guys, I don't yet, not yet. Like I don't make 100K plus yet. But do I want a man that makes more than me? Absolutely, because if you ideally, I want a man who can take the load off of my plate, who can teach me some things, who can like bring that feminine out of me, who can like make life easier for me so I don't have to be in my masculine energy 24/7. That's what we want. That's what we want.
Sure.
And we can be that for the
So
right man. We
I have a
absolutely can.
question.
Now let me tell you something. Oh, I'm sorry, girl, go ahead.
So Dennis, with the point that you're making, that means that the foundation of your relationship means nothing. Because that means that all the time you spent with that person, all the time, all the memories, all the exchanges, everything that you've done with that person is suddenly going to be negated because now you have an increase in your income and there's somebody else out there that's turning 21.
No.
Is that what you're trying is that what you're
No,
trying
you
to
mixed
say?
it up. Nope. If I'm single and I'm earning over $100,000 a year, and I want a woman without a kid, without trauma and baggage and a
But are
mess.
you that guy though?
No, that's why I'm not dating a
Okay,
woman
so you are
I'm not.
speaking for men that you don't know nothing of their mentality
No,
of
no,
what
no, no,
they're
no,
looking
no.
for.
Chopper. No, no, not true. Because
No,
at one
that is
point when
true. Well, I'll tell you
no,
why in a minute.
nope. At one point when I had inheritance wise money for 3 years, I was around those guys. On top of that, when I was in Vegas, even if you don't have money, you're still around those guys. I'm not talking about millionaires because you're not more than likely around those guys. I'm talking about the 100,000aires. We're around those guys, and it ain't. We're all the same. Now, when you get to millionaire status, yes, you look for different things. But when you're talking about 50,000 a year guy and $100,000 a year guy or 150, we're all the same men. And the whole point of the
Not
matter
true.
is, we would rather have
It is
that's
true.
like going into a car dealership. Why would we sign up for a 10-year-old car when we could have a brand new car with no
Because
mileage,
that
no back,
analogy
no
doesn't make
recall, no
sense because
nothing? We rather
women are
have
not
we rather have the
cars.
new car than the
Wait, give
old
me,
car.
Women are not
give me.
So
cars.
if that's
They're
look,
not
if that's
combustible engines that are made
Okay,
out of metal.
it's an analogy. You
No,
know
I
what I
know,
mean? It's an
but
analogy.
they're human
that analogy
beings.
is
No, but I'm saying,
terrible.
okay, once again,
They're
why would,
human beings.
okay, let me give you a better one. What would you rather
What?
have? What would you rather have? A 10-year-old dog or a brand new puppy that you could train and mold that dog to be what you want?
Look, if that's
Once
what you
again, women
look,
are
if
not
that's what you
dogs.
want, if
Okay,
that's what look, no,
I
from
got
what
one
it
for you.
sounds
Women are
like,
humans.
he falls into that group of men that would prefer to mold. And I have been with a man like that who was 7 years older than me, who thought that he could mold me simply because I was younger than him. Now, let me tell
How
you something
old were
about
you at
that
the
man.
time? How old were you at the time?
He was a very manipulative, narcissistic
Okay,
man, and
Chopper,
that is
how
not a
old were
healthy
you?
dynamic. That is not a
Chopper, how
healthy
old were you
dynamic.
at that time?
I'm 30. I was 25.
Okay, that's why. Once again, I'm telling you, it's
No, but
21. Okay,
okay, but
Chopper,
that's a
imagine
certain
being
type of man you're describing, though, and that's not the type of man I'm looking for. The
Chopper.
type of man I'm. Listen, look,
What?
and I will tell you, like, you can't say they don't exist because I know plenty of men who I am describing that
But Chopper,
do
women are
exist. I
lazy
dated one of
though.
them.
Women are lazy
Listen,
now. You gotta understand. You and Cali girl are
no,
rare.
that's
If you
not
guys,
true.
if you're
All right.
legit, Chopper, you and Cali girl
No,
are
none of the
rare
women
ones.
in my circle are lazy.
Okay,
Okay,
I will
those are
tell you
yours.
that.
But
Like,
why do you
damn.
have OnlyFans? Why do you have OnlyFans? Why are you guys literally nude on every single social media site? For no reason. You guys put bikini pictures for no reason. Bro, you guys are lazy now to where you want the guy that got everything, that's going to give you everything. You're not going for regular guys, okay? Because when
So
I
hold
went
I
on.
don't.
in,
Well, I
you
don't
know
Hold
that
have
on,
was
hold
his
on, hold on,
stuff.
hold
OnlyFans,
on.
and like
So
the women that
listen,
do, like,
listen.
ain't
So hold
nothing
on,
against
hold
them.
on. Chopper.
Listen,
Chopper. Give you Raimi. Pop in there, bro.
Thank you. Finally. Damn, they was talking all fucking time. One, like I said, like I was saying, one, like I said, what I'm seeing with you, Chopper, is like when we tell you something, like what a guy like feels or stuff like that, you keep saying that's bullshit and that's cap. Which is like, what do you want? What do you want from us? Like we trying to tell you, but you keep saying this and that. So that kind of let me know that maybe in a relationship you kind of the one that just want to take the lead, or just one that will just want to take control of shit. That's one.
No,
And
that's not.
wait. And just like you said, like you said with the old guy that was trying to, you feel like he was trying to control you. You couldn't take that because
No, y'all don't know anything about that situation.
Okay, when yeah, you're right. We do not know about the situation. I'm only going off what you just said, and that's that. And second, you keep saying like I said, men take women as who they are, and you said that's bullshit. That is so
That
fucking.
because it is.
Wait, no, it's not. I can name you a bunch of females right now that is just popular because they looks. They don't bring anything to the table. They flat broke, but they only there because of who they dating. I could name you a bunch of lists, and I guarantee you're still gonna say it's bullshit. So, like I said, like as men, we take you as who you are. And then you said, and then like what Dennis said, you could still find a good man and stuff like that. That's probably not in the 100K bracket or six figures bracket, but he could still bring things to your life that a hundred guy, a man that makes 100K could. Like look at Craig. Craig make decent money. Yes, he's not rich, he's not balling, but him and his girl, they have their own business together and stuff like that. That's something that he got his ass out his ass, and he started to build, and she helped him build. Like you could find good guys and stuff like
I'm
that.
I'm sure there. I'm not saying there aren't good men who make
but
under 100K. But I'm saying this is my standard. I can't speak for other women, but this is what I stand by. This is my.
But you keep saying.
And and rightfully I can, because at the end of the day I make a certain amount of money. I don't make 100K yet, but it's almost there. Like I would prefer a man who makes more than me, because I do seek financial stability. That's important.
Okay,
That's important.
you could. Okay, but Tribal, you could be this great girl for this man, but he could just say, yeah, you got everything I need, but you don't make 100K. But will you call that guy a douche? Will you call that guy?
I just posted something on screen that I feel is a huge topic that doesn't get discussed enough in the dating world. The consistent amount of thirsty men, especially the amount of thirsty men that finally get their hands on money. Especially the amount of thirsty men that finally get their hands on money. Do these pool of men destroy the dating field? Yes or no? I want to start with Cali Girl first, and then I want to go to Rami next, Dennis, and then I want to finish with Karina.
You said you said thirsty dudes that get money if they dilute the dating pool?
If they destroy the dating pool, because once they get money, they feed into their thirsty ways.
Depends on your morals.
So they ruin the dating pool for normal men. They ruin the dating pool.
Depends on your morals and what you stand on, because money's only gonna bring out who you truly are.
Exactly. Like money's not every fucking thing. Like money's not everything. You could date a guy who got money. He's still gonna treat you like shit. He's gonna treat you like a dog. He's gonna, you know what I'm saying? So you might as well just pick a dude that genuinely shows you that he cares for you, that he's there for you, that he's gonna build with you. Stop. Like that's this thing that pissed me off. It's like, why it always gotta be about fucking money all the time? Like I know a bunch of people, like couples that start off broke and then end up becoming millionaires. And you think they would have been like that if it's oh yeah, you got to make this much, you got to make that much. No, you just fucking making yourself fucking less dateable, because it's gonna be about money. End of the day, if that's your pinpoint, when that dude don't, like I said, when that dude don't have that money no more, and then he have to depend on you, it's gonna be a fucking problem. It's gonna be a fucking problem. It don't matter. Oh yeah, I love him. It's still gonna be a fucking problem. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's gonna be hard for you to find that dude if this money is your agenda. I'm not saying for you to date a broke dude. I'm not saying for you to. And like I said, you got all rights to your preference. You got rights. I'm not saying you're wrong for that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's gonna be kind of difficult to find true love if it's gonna be around money, or if it's around money. Like I don't date around money. Like I just date like if you could make me laugh and you're a cool person, if I could depend on you, if I go to jail and I know that I can come back and I come back and I know you're gonna handle business, then that's worth than what any money in the world is. But you can go ahead, Dennis, whoever is going to speak.
Well, in regards to thirsty dudes, okay, you got to understand, women made dudes thirsty because of course, social media. Okay, you have women. Back in my day, I'm old. I'm black and old. I'm 39. Back in my day, for you to see a woman in a bikini, you had to like game her up, take her on dates just to get a picture, let alone smash. Now you can freaking see her whole body, and then you can hit her up on DM and say, "Yo, let's go out to this fancy restaurant. Let's go do this and that," and you can have her. So it's a situation now that the regular average guy, let's say like 60-70% of men who can't afford all that, who don't look good, who don't got big meat, who's literally just weak, those men literally are undateable to the modern women. Okay, so now they have to settle for overweight, unattractive women, and it's just messed up. They messed up everything to where the moment that a woman that is just a little bit cute, she's gonna have now thousands of guys at her, because if she says, "Hey," the guy's thinking he's about to have her in bed, so now he's gonna go and be thirsty for that chick, and now it makes her think that all of us guys are just pigs. But in reality, we just don't got the same chance as before, because we can't walk up to women. We can't really, try to be nice to a woman, open the car door, have flowers, be, romance and be chivalrous, because we're going to be called thirsty. But in reality, we're just trying to get a date with somebody. A lot of men still believe in like the whole hopeless romantic situation, which is what I did. I mean, I went all the way to California, hopeless romantic. So I just think that women need to stop calling men thirsty unless they're literally inboxing them over and over and over again. And then with women, you guys only going after, once again, high earners, thugs that are going to have super meat, and all those guys that are going to be like the bad boys, toxic guys. The only way you guys cannot be considered, once again, thoughts, 304s, thirsty chicks, undesirables, would be if you guys start giving, if we see a Craig or a Remy with a chick with a big ass, big rack, like a chick that looks like she's in a fashion magazine. If we see more women with regular guys that are like, earning, decent money, working their way up, then guess what? Now men are going to stop calling you women who are like that. We're going to stop calling y'all, thirsty, because you guys are only with the baller, the rapper, the athlete, the successful, guy. So it goes both ways. We got to start giving each other a chance, because and last thing I'll say about that is that I know, once again, in 2004, when I graduated high school, you saw more regular guys, the trash man, the plumber. He would have the woman with the big ass, and then you ask him like, "What the heck, how you get that?" He's like, "Man, I just work, man. I got a house, I got a car," and he's simple. He got nice little $150,000-$200,000 house. He got a nice little $25,000 vehicle. He got an extra vehicle for her to drive. He puts food on the table. He does everything to where that woman with the big booty, she can stay at home with the kids. And you're like, "Oh my God, this guy is lucky. He gets to, get to have that every night." And,
Hey, I have a question though. Do you feel
Right.
like you're just minimizing women down to their body parts when you make these statements though?
That's what men, for the most part, 9 out of 10 men are really looking for body and looking for looks and cuteness. Then we look for personality. Now you have the beta males that you women
Bodies are
don't go
nice,
for,
but
that go off of personality first, then looks. Those are beta males, and y'all ain't
so
checking for those men.
bodies are nice, but do you feel like a nice body is really gonna make for a lasting marriage? I know
Absolutely.
bodies are important, but that doesn't mean your marriage will be successful.
Absolutely. If you're remember that chick before you,
But it
remember that chick that
doesn't.
remember that chick that had the boobs all the way down to her freaking like kneecaps, and then remember the chick before her looked like Master Splinter? I would never marry those chicks. They're just not attractive enough. I'm sorry. Men, we care about the looks. You got to have a nice little rack, or you got to have proportion, boob to butt. That's just what it is. I'm sorry. Now the guys like Twiggy, who are like beta males, they'll settle for anything. They'll settle for like a freaking 250-pound hog. I mean, for the life of me, no man, because you gotta remember, it's more than just sleeping with the woman. It's the fact that if you're a
some girls are
professional,
naturally just really, really skinny and they're flat everywhere. So does that mean that they shouldn't be with people?
no, not with people, but not with me, not with Craig, not Remy, I'm pretty sure. Because
Well,
guess what?
no,
If Craig goes to
but you
if
know what I
Craig,
mean? Like, what's wrong with
I'm gonna tell you why. Because if Craig decides to
I don't
go
think your
big with
boys
this,
agree with you and the looks
no,
on
let
their
me say,
face.
if Craig, one last point, and then I'll be done. If Craig decides to go corporate, like franchise out his car wash business or whatever, then guess what? He can't walk in with no master splitter. He can't walk in with no 400-pound woman because they're gonna say Craig is not disciplined. Craig
Yeah,
is
but
literally- hold
but
on,
your
let me
body
finish.
He's
being
not saying
flat,
like,
but your
Calico,
body, but
you
your
could
body
be,
being
you
flat
could
doesn't
be
equate you to being
fine and not
hold on,
ugly.
let me
have a
finish this
big.
point.
You can
Let me
be
finish
fine.
this point.
Yeah, like
Hold on,
you could be
guys.
really pretty in the face and
Guys,
still be flat
guys, you
everywhere.
gotta be kind of like women right now, and just you gotta like respect time. Like I won't cut
Look,
y'all off.
I'll do that with the respectful man who actually
I'm respecting you. I don't cut you.
I
I don't.
just
Nah,
like
I can do that
Okay,
to a
give me
respectful
30
man
more
who
seconds.
can.
Let me just
I
hit
just
the let
feel
me hit
like
the
this is
landing.
like the point of view of like a 12-year-old,
Okay,
like
I get it. Let
Yeah,
me hit the landing.
exactly.
Okay, let me hit the
yeah,
landing.
like
Okay, can I hit the landing real quick? Let me hit the landing.
like having
Gotta
a
go.
nice body is not going to equate to a lasting marriage or a
Yo,
great
gotta go. Let me hit
foundation.
the
Let him hit
landing.
this
Please.
emergency
Hit the landing.
landing. Let him hit this
Okay.
emergency landing. All right.
So keep in mind, if Craig walked in with a 350-pound lord, what's gonna happen is the people who he's trying to sell his franchise, to get franchise, his car wash, they're gonna say he's not disciplined. His confidence is low. He's not trustworthy. They're gonna say he's a weak man because for him to choose this woman means he's just like it's just terrible. And guess what? Now he's gonna lose his expansion opportunity because
I'm sorry, but have
you
you
have to
seen
be
the women that some of the CEOs are married to?
yes, but
Sticks
those are white
looking
guys.
like
Those are white
lizard
guys. That doesn't work for
ladies
nobody
because
but
they're
20
white
white
women that
guys.
have too much sun.
It only works
Like,
with okay. If
I'm
Donald
just
Trump,
saying.
if Donald Trump had a 300-pound woman, he would not be the president.
No.
Nobody
Donald
would
Trump
respect
married a
him.
prostitute.
It don't matter.
He
I rest my
married a
case.
prostitute
I
and
rest my
somebody
case.
who
And
has
now he's the
nasty
president.
pictures on the internet.
I've
This
rest my
can't be a
case. He's the
serious
president now. I'm sorry.
conversation.
Like,
I'm
I'm
sorry. I
just
rest my case.
like,
He would have.
if
He would
that,
have. Yeah.
Can I get
You
my
got
2
it though. Y'all
cents
got it.
for Craig's
All right,
question?
hold on.
This is going back to Craig.
Wait.
I have absolutely nothing to respond to any of
Wait.
that. But I do
What?
want to go back to your question, Craig.
Wait, hold on.
actually, I
Oh,
want to say
shit.
though too, if anything, when you're in the corporate
Oh,
world and
shit.
you have a very voluptuous woman, they're gonna look at you some type of way
That
because
is true.
that's gonna make your
That's
girl
true.
stick out more
Okay.
compared to being a flat-chested, like flat
Okay.
rear end woman.
Is she
Like
shapely?
it's
Let's keep it
there,
real. She's
yeah.
shapely, but if she's a pig, I mean not a pig, but if she's like, I'm not a
Okay,
pig.
but like, why are we
If she's
calling
a big
women
back,
pigs?
you know what I'm saying? If she's
Like,
a big back, guys are pigs too.
and
Like
why are we
Brutus
call
Better is a
like?
pig too. I'm
I
just saying,
don't.
she's a big
How
back.
are you trying to have a conversation with women while degrading them at the same time?
I'm not
Okay,
degrading them. Are you
wait.
guys
See, that's what I'm
overweight?
saying. Like
That's
that shit
Okay,
goes
hold on.
with
degradation.
women and their
Are you
masculine.
guys overweight? Are
That
you
ain't
guys over
no.
250
That ain't
That's
pounds?
nobody that a woman would want to submit to,
just
bro.
because I'm not overweight doesn't mean that,
I rest
like
my case.
what I'm trying to say is like saying like degrading comments and degradation takes away from your point. It makes you sound silly.
Okay,
Like
hold on.
that the point can't
Yeah.
be made
Hey,
without putting someone down.
hey, Chopper and
Yeah.
Dennis. Chopper and Dennis. What y'all think about that comment on the screen right there?
I didn't see the comment.
There's a comment on the screen. What y'all think about it?
We're the opposite, but we think alike. We're just the opposite. She's super far feminist. I'm super far men respect for what men want. Whatever
No,
you want to
you
call it.
sound very red pill. I don't think that.
You're the
Okay.
same way. You just said the
That
man got to make
no,
over
it's not. It is
$100,000, but
not.
you don't make
There's a
$100,000.
huge difference between the red pill community and the masculine men community. Like
Okay.
I'm 100%
But
sure
is
of
there
that.
really
Wait.
anything wrong with her asking for 100K if she makes close to that kind of money
Look,
though?
let me touch on that. Like
I
haven't
know,
even
but I
gotten in.
understand that puts you in a smaller dating pool. I
Look,
understand that. That's facts.
listen.
Okay,
But I
we
don't see anything wrong for asking for that
yes,
if you are
it's
making that kind of
no,
money.
I'm
Hold
just
Okay,
on.
why
saying
don't
Look,
like
you guys
can I
date
touch
fat
on that?
men?
Because Craig,
Why don't y'all date
I
fat
haven't
ass
had a
men?
turn yet. I haven't had my turn
Go ahead,
yet.
Hold
Chopper.
on.
I'm sorry.
Let Chopper go. Let Chopper go. Let Chopper go.
Yeah,
Then
because
I
this
don't
is
want to hear from you.
this is touching on your question, Craig. Going back to your original question, the whole thirsty men thing. Like, okay, but when Dennis hopped in, he turned that to us, saying that we're calling the men thirsty. We did not say men are thirsty for being chivalrous. We did not say men are thirsty for pursuing a woman. Like y'all are expected to do that. That's sexy. It's sexy when a man shows vulnerability and when he shows that he wants to pursue you. It's sexy when he's being chivalrous. Like women want that. Women like that sweet shit. Contrary to what y'all believe or what I promise you, the majority of women want that. That doesn't make you a simp. That doesn't make you whatever. Like that's just toxic culture trying to like instill in y'all that oh doing that is corny or oh no that's the shit that
This is very true.
makes women want you like that. That's just we like that. But anyways, so if we're talking about thirsty men though,
Choppa,
like
if he doesn't
what
show
I
interest,
see
I'll never know he likes me at all. I'll just be like, oh, that he's
exactly
cool. Like, yeah,
exactly like we're
he's just
not gonna
whatever. I don't know who
entertain
he
that.
is.
And
Exactly. And like my thing is when I say thirsty men, if I'm like making that comment to like a homegirl or something, that means like a creep. Like if he's just being like just you let's say you're at the club and this guy is just like looking at you and like you made it clear that you are not interested, you don't want to talk to somebody, he's pushing it. Keeps pushing it, keeps trying to like, be a creep. Like I fuck you and all this shit. And like you don't want that's a thirsty man when he keeps pushing the limit almost to the point of harassment when you made it clear that you were not interested. That's a thirsty man, to me at least. Like that's what I would consider a thirsty man. So
Yeah,
I just
like
wanted to
some
clarify
dudes don't
that.
some dudes don't get like some dudes, not a lot, but some men
Mhm.
that are like really delusional don't get that like catcalling is not gonna get you nowhere. Like what are you
Exactly. Like,
doing?
it's a difference between
Like you're creeping
catcalling and
us
being
out.
thirsty. Yeah, it's a difference between being a creep and being thirsty and actually being a gentleman and being chivalrous and wanting to pursue a woman. It's a huge difference. And you got to be stupid as shit to not know the difference. But going back to the other point I wanted to touch on, the whole 100K thing, like I did not say that. Listen,
Hold on. Before we move, hold on. Before we move into that, let me let Remy go. Let me let Remy go real fast.
wait, no, but I
We
was
haven't
gonna
heard from
make
Remy.
I really wanted to make this point though.
I know, but we with the topic right now is
What, thirsty man?
is yes, how is
But
thirsty
we
men destroying the dating pool right now? Like I know you like connect it after we hear about what Remy got to say on it.
okay, I feel. I'm sorry, bro. It's just Dennis got my head fucked up with that shit he just said.
Bro, no lie, bro.
I didn't even get to touch on the
That
other
boy
things
wild,
that I
bro.
wanted to touch on to address some of the stuff.
Well,
Like,
I just want to let people know, like, I don't date by it. Yes, looks always gonna matter, but I don't look at it. It's like the last thing in the quote unquote for me. It's just all about like if you could make me laugh or if you cool to hang out with and stuff like that. But anyways, to answer your question, I do feel like yes at some point because some women like I know some women like they just love when dudes are thirsty because it gives them that motivation like oh yeah I still got it, I still look good and this and that, when they know like they don't really want to talk to the dude, they don't really want to mess with the dude and stuff like that. So it's kind of make it hard when when a dude want to actually like a girl and want to approach her. He probably gonna be less confident because of what the other bitch did. So I do feel like at some point, yes, but I don't think there's nothing wrong with approaching a female if you got the confidence, if and stuff, and maybe she would like you back. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But yes, I do think simps are fucking ruining the dating pool. Simps.
So what's the difference between being chivalrous and being a simp?
Simp is just okay. A dude that's being chivalrous is like taking a girl out, opening doors, complimenting her and stuff like that. That's chivalrous. That's chivalrous. That's what a man's supposed to do. You understand? But a simp is just like the girl's not interested in you. You throwing money at her. You understand? Like she calling you a bitch, but you like it's okay, baby. I'm gonna get you that Birkin. That's being a simp. Like. You understand? Letting the woman walk all over you and stuff like
yeah.
that. It's just that's what's being a simp, and I feel like that's what's killing the dating market. Because when a woman is so used to doing that to a guy, like walk over them, talking shit, and he's still gonna buy her this, buy her that, she's gonna expect that from every guy. You understand? So that I think that's what's messing up the game.
Choppa.
So
Choppa.
yeah.
Okay, I want to
Oh,
ask you something. I want to
what's
ask you something because they're talking about simps and all that, right? Because well, I'm assuming all these men on the panel are straight men, so they're only dating women, right?
Hold on, before we said it, Dennis, move your head all the way to the side real quick.
Other
He's
side.
conceited, bro. He's
What
conceited,
is
bro.
that?
He is conceited, bro.
It's his weird little AI picture.
He is
That's
conceited, bro. Dennis is in love with himself.
Hey,
Dennis is
No, I
in
did.
love
A,
with
I
himself.
did. No, I
couldn't
did a
even tell that
photo
was
shoot.
him.
No, I did a photo shoot, and they told me to put the crown on for my birthday.
That is not
couldn't
a
even
photo
tell
shoot.
that
That is
was
not a
you.
photo shoot. That is
It's an
That is
AI.
not a photo shoot.
It's an
And second
AI
of all,
thing, yeah.
That's his
like I
AI
said,
version.
Dennis is conceited, man. Dennis is in love with himself. Dennis
Man,
is in love with
I need to
himself.
do one of those. That'll be.
I'm just confident.
Oh
you know?
my
But
gosh,
shut
they
up.
are the same person. They the
When you
same
got
person. Damn.
when you got super meat, Ramy, you get confident when you got super meat.
Anyways,
Wow.
I got a question though, because obviously, everybody on this panel, they're straight men, so they don't know how it feels to date men. Okay. When you guys talk about simps and all
Hold
that
on,
stuff,
we're all men are a little gay. We already did that whole.
okay,
Hey,
but
listen,
are
you
you
can speak
Oh,
for yourself.
are you
well,
actively
now-
dating? Are you actively
No,
dating
because
men?
all men, you know,
Okay,
they
but
handle
but my
their
thing is,
business.
Oh,
All
are you
men handle
are
their
you
business. Isn't
are
that a
you
little gay?
actively dating men?
Isn't that a
Yo,
little gay?
I never thought I'd hear this. What?
No, seriously, chop it. Isn't that a little gay? Knowing that
Nope.
men, you know,
Yo.
handle their business with a manly hand, and you enjoy it. Come on now.
Oh,
No, that's not gay at all, actually. But anyway,
Don't know what being gay
oh
is.
my gosh.
so
But anyways, going back
the
to
the reason why I'm asking is because like men have a lot to say about this stuff, but they have no idea how weird dudes can be to us sometimes too. Like a dude will tell another man another story. This doesn't happen too often, but I've heard it. And it's like, I was telling this girl and she led me on and this and that. But you know for a fact that girl was like, hey, I'm not interested. Like, I don't want you sending me stuff. Like, I don't want you talking to me. Or sometimes you get like those weirdo dudes that'll say hi to you and like 4 text messages later, they're sending you a weird picture and you're like, I don't know you. Like, what are you
Well, let's
doing?
just be real though. Okay.
So,
let's
okay, look,
just be
listen.
real here. A lot of y'all feel that way because if the guy of your dreams was coming up to talk to y'all wouldn't care. You're not gonna care that they're talking to you and stuff like that. But if you deem him ugly or something like that, or deem him not to your standard, that's when it becomes weird for y'all.
Wait a
Like
minute.
he could
So
just be
hold
trying
on.
to talk to you.
Wait a minute. So hold on. It's okay for men to have visual standards, but we can't. Look,
I didn't
just
say
as
that.
much as
No.
y'all want.
Listen.
Look, just as much as men want an attractive woman, we want an attractive man. The fuck? Why would we want? Why
Listen,
would anybody
I'm not
want?
I
saying
rest
that
my
you
case.
don't
I rest
want
my
They're not
case. She was
attractive.
mad about the big back. Now she says she wants to attract him. I rest my case.
No, because like
That's simple.
no. Let's
So y'all can
no,
have
no,
what
no.
y'all want, but us men,
I'm
we're
just
not allowed to have
saying,
what
I
we want.
understand.
We're
Look,
terrible for wanting attractive women,
Nah,
but y'all
listen,
don't want a
look.
big back
Hey,
either.
I've
Y'all don't
dated
want
I
big
know.
backs
I've
either.
dated
I'm
some
just
fat
saying,
boys, okay?
look. It's nothing wrong for anybody to want physical attraction. I think that's important. That's important for anybody. Like, you have to be physically attracted to the person you choose. What?
I
That's
just
not a
said that, and
crazy
y'all called me
expectation.
childish. Y'all called me
I didn't
childish
say
and
that. No. You
ignorant and
started
terrible
going
man.
on. You started going on about body parts and all this extra shit. Like, I
No, I
didn't
said a
mean all
fat. Nobody
that.
wants a fatty, really. Nobody wants a
No,
fatty.
he's basically saying, so okay, listen. He's basically saying men want good-looking women, right?
Yeah, we
Women
want good-looking men, but you don't.
Like, but hold on. Because the problem is, especially in the dating world, mind you, I think the problem is a lot of people aren't just being honest. Like, I feel like when it comes to the whole tall chick, like the whole tall guy making lots
Oh,
of money.
the 6 foot and over dude thing.
Yeah. I
Look,
think
I don't
that
care about all that. I don't care how tall
listen,
you are.
hold on. And this is when I start getting spicy. All right. I'm gonna say a spicy take. All right.
Craig, is that because you're a little bit shorter?
Huh?
I said, is it because you're a little bit shorter?
No. I've dated tall women before.
No, you
Honestly,
did,
I really don't have no problem.
He
And on
did.
top of that, I don't have problems. I really don't have problems in the dating field at all. So, but my question is this though.
Wait. You can't say that, Craig. You be crashing out.
I'm not gonna crash out. Listen,
Okay,
my
go.
thing is this. I feel like is it because what I tend to notice is there aren't that many there aren't that many people with 6 foot men, right? There's a lot of like, you know, for most people that are in relationships, it's like I don't see all these people that are pregnant by 6 foot men. They're not. I'm just being real with you. They're pregnant by like regular 5'9", 5'10", regular, like some of these dudes be looking like freaking soccer players. And when I say Mexican soccer players, not to mean racist, but y'all know what I mean by like Mexican soccer players. Mexican soccer players can be big as hell and be big bodied, but have tons of stamina. You feel me? But like they just big as hell. Like they be big and round, especially down here in Texas. So like there's a lot of normal looking people with other normal looking people. You know what I mean? So what I tend to hear is everybody got these standards of, oh, I gotta make $100,000. You gotta make $100,000. You gotta be over 6 feet tall. But in reality, once y'all actually get in the dating field, once y'all actually get in there, y'all start to realize that like the shit that y'all looking for, that shit hard to come by. So what tends to happen
But
is
that's if you throw in all
Definitely.
the
hold on.
established shit,
Let me get it out. I've been letting y'all talk this whole
Okay,
panel.
can I touch on all this?
Hold
after
on.
you-
Let me get it out. I've been letting y'all talk this whole panel. Hold on. I feel what I notice as a person in a relationship, because like I said, I've dated tall women, not big women. I've never dated a big woman in my life, but thick women, you know what I mean? I've dated all types of women, right? What I tend to notice is, because especially me, the reason why I'm throwing me in there is because I'm 5'7", y'all. Y'all the ones with these standards, yet I have had such great success dating the hell out of y'all. You feel me? So my thing is like, y'all have these standards in y'all head, but time and time again, especially with these pregnancies, with like y'all baby daddies not staying and shit like that, it shows me that y'all are willing to settle for the right one, or not even the right one, but for the right time. Y'all settle for a good time.
That's actually the opposite. Like statistically, men are more likely to settle than women. That's
Men have very
statistically
low
speaking.
standards.
I'm
Men
not.
have very low standards. So men really don't have nothing to settle on, to be real with you.
And that's why I said, like, men just accept who you are. Like, they'll accept who you are. They don't really got standards like that. They'll accept who you are.
So can I touch on what I wanted, the thought I wanted to finish, because I feel like it's an important piece to the to your question, Craig.
Hey, hold on. Listen, if there's one person I want to pull up, OCPD, if you don't mind adding to this conversation, the last time you was on Dennis' channel, you had a lot of good intellect, and I would love it if you would add your intellect into this conversation. But go ahead.
Is he here?
No, he's not here yet. He's just in the in the chat. He said give him about 5 minutes.
All right, so go ahead, Chopper. Go ahead.
Okay, no, yeah, I was gonna say, because I kind of wanted to like go back to what someone said like in the beginning, where made it sound like I'm making it about money when I say I want a guy who makes over 100K. The reason why I say ideally I want somebody who does make more than me, it's a reason, and it has nothing, like, for me, it's not all about the money. I've dated broke dudes, and like poor coochie management on my end, because there were a lot of problems that came with that. I'm not saying money is everything, but for me, as somebody who does want to marry eventually, I do want a man who is financially stable and who is good at handling their finances. Like, that's not a crazy thing to ask for. It's not a crazy thing to ask for, but another thing to note, whether y'all want to admit it or not, and I could just be stereotyping, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like for the most part, men subconsciously, they will, if they end up with a woman who makes more than them, it would not, at least for the types of men who want to feel masculine, right? And I want a man who is masculine, like a man who can lead, who can, handle shit, like who can, take care of me too, provide for me. I want a provider man. That's not saying I want, I want to stop working and let him take all the bills. Like, no, I'm just saying, like, ideally, I do want somebody who has that provider mentality. That's what I want. And I'm not crazy for wanting that. Now,
No.
You know what's
for me
wild?
to
You and
want,
Dennis,
for me
you
to
and Dennis would
listen, for me
Wait.
to have that, like, yes, the man has to make a certain amount or more. Because listen, I cannot
Okay.
make more than the man that I'm with because there are a lot of problems that can potentially come from that, whether y'all want to admit it or
That's
not.
just
It's funny because you and
it's
Dennis
wait,
agree so
Because
much
these
on that same
men,
topic.
because some
wait,
of yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, because
wait.
some men will have, I've known instances, I've seen it for myself. Like, there were instances where men were in marriages or relationships with women who made more than them, and I don't know, these could just be toxic men or unhealed men, whatever. But they had,
Papa,
like,
you
it
don't
was
you
it
don't
was
hear the
very,
end of it. You don't hear the end of it. You hear
like,
over and over
it's
and over and over
it's
about
very
the money.
evident that they're jealous, that they are jealous of their women, or like they try to tear down like that woman, or they feel some type of way because like they feel emasculated that their woman makes more than them. You know what I'm saying? So that is why I'm saying I want a man who makes more than me, and that's not crazy. That's
All
not a
right.
crazy thing to ask for. I know plenty of men who are in that income bracket,
Okay.
so it's not crazy.
Okay, but just like I said, I do agree. Yes, you should date somebody that's in your tax bracket, or at least close. You know what I'm saying? Because me, Craig know me. Like, I hate dating women that's broke. I just don't. I don't like that. But as what you're saying with the old men feel some type of way when you make no. I don't find that's true, because me. Yeah, I love when a woman makes money. I literally love when a woman makes money. Like, I'll be like, you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, damn, Craig, yo, Chopper just made $100K. Woo, that girl balling. You understand? Like, I actually like doing that shit. I don't feel less of a man, because at the end of the day, I know I got my own money. I know I could handle my own. And I don't, why the fuck would I be jealous of my own girl making more money? That's actually, you know what I'm saying? That's better for me, because I know I don't have to, do a lot and come out of my pocket because she's have it. The only person that probably will feel insecure is, yes, guys that probably don't have their money together, or feel like, oh, if you make more money, you're probably gonna go out there and cheat and stuff like that. Insecure men, like, if a guy, that's the only people I see that would be jealous. But me, or I don't even think Craig is that way. Craig is definitely not that way.
Shout out
If
to you,
his
Shannon.
girl,
Oh, what's going on, y'all? What up, Dennis? What's up, guys?
What's going on, man?
what's up? But like I was saying, I don't even think Craig is that way, because I know it's been a bunch of time where Craig could be down and his girl is up, and the girl's making more money than him, and he's happy about it. So not all men are like that, and this is, like I said, this is what when you keep putting money into the relationship, this is what caused the conflict. That's why I always tell people, don't bring money into the relationship. You should bring the person in the relationship, not the fucking money, because end of the day, money is the reason why people change. So, but you're not wrong for
The next topic I want to talk about, and this one is for one for me in particular. It really grinds my gears, and it's the topic of nice guys. For me in particular, what defines a nice guy is someone that tries to play by the book, someone that always tries to do the right thing at the right time to impress the right people. In my opinion, I can't stand nice guys. And I feel like half of the men that are yelling the loudest when it comes to their failures in navigating the dating field or dating pool, I would say comes from these nice guys that refuse to work on their qualities.
Mhm.
What are y'all
I feel like-
opinions on that?
I feel like I'm the nice guy. So
Data.
But what defines a nice guy? Can you kind of elaborate
No,
on that?
a nice guy is a guy that's gonna do everything that he thinks will make a woman happy. So pretty much he's gonna literally
So like a
pay
doormat?
everything. He's gonna
Yeah,
he's gonna
doormat.
pay everything. He's gonna open your car door. He's gonna tell you to literally sit on his face. He's gonna, go to town without getting anything in return. He's gonna literally like be in friend zone because you're gonna put him in friend zone for sure. He's gonna be in friend zone for months, thinking that he's gonna hate on a real one like a Shannon or a Craig. I don't know how Remy's game is because he sounded like a nice
Craig,
guy. But
Craig, what's the
he's gonna
difference
hate on
between a nice guy and a simp then?
no.
Because they
He's
sound
gonna,
very similar.
That sounds
no,
like
they're the same. They're the same thing.
Yeah,
but he's
what's
gonna
it-
hate
what's
on.
Nice guys don't necessarily go to the full extent that simps do. Simps are willing to pay for the pussy. Simps are willing to literally, and I'm not even trying to like be like
a simp or a trick.
off put, like simps and tricks are hand in hand.
Aren't they
They're
the
the
same?
same thing. That's the same. That's the same thing.
Yeah,
the same.
Chopper likes it. Chopper
So
likes
for
it.
me, like simps, like because for me, I got
That
a
pays
motto.
the bills.
I got a motto straight up. I will never buy a girl a chocolate milk. That's just my motto. I'm cheap. Chopper know I'm cheap. Like I got a house. She seen it. She came to it, but I'm cheap as hell. She know that. I will not buy shit if I won't have to. So that being said, like me
So
personally, I feel
you
like
ain't buying nobody no Nesquik, is what you're saying?
I will not buy a girl a chocolate milk.
No,
baby.
no,
Okay,
you.
but-
I used to have a
That's
motto.
wild.
Not even if it's your
Listen,
girl.
back when I was single,
Dang.
That's
I used to
wild.
have a motto when girls used to come over to my house. You want to know what the motto was?
Craig, is,
Come fed.
okay, but Craig,
Come fed. I'm not buying you. I'm not buying no. We ain't taking no stops to
Hold on.
McDonald's.
But
We ain't
Craig,
taking no stops to KFC. Come fed.
No
Craig,
cookies
Craig,
at McDonald's.
Come
But-
fed.
But Craig,
Pantry is empty.
chocolate milk is like $2. You can't cough for $2, man.
I wouldn't buy you. Listen, I ain't got it. Listen, the next topic is high value women and high value men. We'll get into that. But come on, baby, I'm the prize. I'm just fucking with y'all.
Yeah,
I'm
I
about
was
to
about
smack
to
the
say,
shit
I
out
was
of you
about
when
to
I
say.
see you.
I was about to say. That's some shit Dennis would say. But anyways, what you
I was
what was
gonna
the
say,
question
what
again?
kind of person invites people over and got no snacks in the pantry?
Correct.
That's
Correct.
inhospitable.
Correct.
Nah, he's not that cheap, guys. He'll have
No, he's cheap.
whenever he would have guests over, like he would have stuff for us. Like
He never offered me no. He never offered me shit. But anyways, what was the question again, Craig? I'm getting sidetracked. What was the
So again, there's an epidemic of men screaming about loneliness, screaming about not being able to navigate the dating pool, not being able to find success when it comes to dating women, talking to women, introducing themselves to women. And I find that when it comes to that, it's because of this nice guy mentality of having to always be the right guy and feel like that you don't have to change. Like without going too deep into exposing anyone, like for instance, anime is a huge topic, right? A lot of young men everywhere, they love anime. And it's a huge passion for them. They watch it a lot. They'll wear it on their shirts. They'll wear it on their clothes.
I have it on my shirt right now.
And especially with black men, they'll tend to be like, "Oh, she wants a Tyrone," when in reality, she doesn't want a Tyrone. She just doesn't want a nigga with an anime shirt on. You know what I mean?
Speaking of facts, we really,
And
let me
so-
say this.
Go ahead.
We got to pick it's one of those things where we have to pick a struggle. We already know that whatever the stereotypes come with anime, watching wrestling, I'm a big wrestling fan, my wife knows it's much problem. There are different stereotypes that come with it. And I can tell you this from experience. I took my wife to the wrestling event, and all she complained about was how bad it's stinking, how bad it's stunk, you see that. So if you watch wrestling, if you watch an anime, if you also don't have money, you're also doing all these, you gotta pick the struggle. So when you talk about that big guy and all of that stuff, by the way, y'all, I was up to like 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm tired, so I ran a little bit. I hope I'm trying to hit it on the head with that's it.
No, you hit
can't
it on the
stay
head,
like,
brother.
yeah, you can't stay like I had. I'm gonna tell you one person who did me out a lot was Kevin. What he did, but Kevin started talking about spending money more, how you gotta be more generous. I never was in a boxes, none of that stuff. But I started buying nice colognes, nice watches, and my truck, I bought my wife a truck. There you go. It's certain stuff that I do now that change everything around me. And when you start investing in yourself, you're gonna attract that attention. Like, even if you already your lady, you can still boss up like with her and get her to a different point. Like, dang, I should see as a man, I should see. So I was wondering.
Yep, absolutely. And listen, I want to keep touching on this because here's where I start giving a little bit of advice from. This is what I wanted to bring up. Picking up where we and me you talked about last time, Chop. And I think where we really got heated in our conversation personally was when I started talking about who has the best advice when it comes to giving out advice in a relationship. Single people or people in a relationship? Who should you listen to? And I think one thing I started to say, and you said I started to offend you in a way, was when I said I would listen to the people that are in relationships when it comes to advice. If I was a single person, I would only listen to my friends that are in relationships. And the reason why I said that is because I akin it to like basketball, where like I akin it to like basketball, where like if I was to watch a seminar or somebody was to give like a coaching seminar or something like that on what it means to be a champion, if AI was giving out a seminar and Michael Jordan was giving out a seminar, who would you listen to? And it's not to discredit AI's experiences, but I wouldn't listen to a word AI has to say when it comes to being a champion. I would only listen to Michael Jordan. And I said, a lot of people, they tend to listen to so many single echo chambers that keeps them single.
So a little background info for about our conversation. Just to clarify, Craig, like I wasn't offended that you said that. What I got offended by was that I felt like my experiences, my personal experiences, and also the experiences of people I personally know who are in similar situations as me, I felt like they were being invalidated because you weren't understanding where I was coming from or like what I was telling Craig, look, the thing amongst like the single community, like men and women, there is no one size fits all piece of advice for us because there are so many factors that come into play. There are so many nuances. There are so many like things that people in relationships don't know, like they don't understand. They don't have the capacity to grasp it because they're not in that situation. And like naturally we're going to gravitate to people who can relate to our experiences. Now, that's not to say that I wouldn't take advice from a person who is in a healthy relationship, but I honestly would rather take advice from a person who has been successfully married in a happy marriage at that for many years. I would rather listen to a person in a healthy relationship who has a history of multiple healthy relationships. Not somebody, look, just because somebody's in a relationship or a long-term relationship doesn't mean that they're in a healthy relationship or that they're happy. So my thing is, it really comes down to what person in a relationship would you rather take advice from? If you were to take advice from a person in a relationship.
And I think I would look at, me personally, because the way I look at things is your tenure and your experience and your success rate. And for me, your success rate when you're single is 0, right? It's 0%. Like, because you're not in a relationship. The goal is to be in a relationship, right? So if you're single, you're at a 0% success rate. If you got some hoes and you got some like side dudes and stuff like that, some sneaky links, you're maybe at like a 50% success rate. I think the only people that are at 100% success rate are people that are like in like marriages and like or have been together for like 5+ years. You know what I mean? And the reason why I say that is because tenure has a lot to do with success as well. Because it's one thing to be a champion for 1 year. It's one thing to be a champion for 6 years. You know what I mean? And so the way I see it is, if you were married, got divorced, and didn't want to give out advice, you are at a 50% success rate. It didn't work out for you. 50% success rate. I would take advice from people that are currently trying to make it work and are making it work. That's who I would take advice from, because those are the people that have the mental wherewithal to go through it with another person that don't. I feel like a lot of divorcees don't get into it for the right way in the first place. And a lot of people go like, well, you wasn't there. You don't know what it was like. Well, that's why y'all need to start learning what it means to be spiritually married. I feel like once the law gets involved, it takes the love out. Once the law gets involved, it just takes the love out. And so I feel like a lot of marriages start off on debt, number one, because there's a lot of like dreams when it comes to like the Americanized woman. I'm not even trying to be sexist at this point, but I'm just being like, I'm talking about consumerism. When it comes to weddings, hold on, let me Google it.
I want to touch on this
Average
topic
price.
after you bring your data.
And Shannon, your mic is super low. It's kind of muffled. I don't know if you want to fix that. People in the chat were saying that.
It was keep coming in and out. I just didn't want to say anything.
Is that better?
So the average price for a wedding
It's still
in
muffled.
2024, the average price for a wedding in 2024 was $33,000. Was $33,000. So we're starting off with a woman's dream starting off being $33,000, and you're starting your marriage off in $33,000 worth of debt. That being said, like when marriages start off that rocky, you already are putting yourself in a bad level. So that's why I say that's why a lot of marriages are failing off rip. But just in general, like I would just listen to people with a high success rate on anything that they do. You don't want to listen to the person that got fired from their job. You want to listen to the person that's at their job.
I hear you. I hear you 100%. But I guess like where I'm coming from too, it's like let's use that example of somebody getting fired from their job, and they take advice from somebody who is successfully employed for many years. Now let's add in. Let's say their piece of advice cannot resonate with this person that got fired because they don't understand. Let's just say like, this person got laid off. They had no control over that. Or, what any other factors that might come into play that might make it harder for them to find employment as easily as the other person trying to give them advice. Like there are so many factors that come into play. Like, there's, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, discrimination is still a thing. There's still, like, I know this is kind of an extreme analogy, but let's just keep in mind that there are other factors that somebody's success rate is not going to match other people's success rates for various factors, various reasons, that
The only
may or may
success
not
rate
be
that matters in
within-
a relationship is being in a relationship.
It does, yeah, but I'm saying like sometimes the person, a lot of people who are single and who are struggling with dating, there is no one size fits all piece of advice is what ultimately what I'm trying to get at. There's not, because there are different reasons why some people are single. There's different reasons why some people have a harder time finding a suitable partner than others. Like there are reasons that there is no one size fits all. And some people will understand, some people will not. And that's just, the reality of it. It's such a dating in today's world is such a complex thing. Like it is overly complicated now, especially when you
There
take in, the fact that we
is
live in
one
the social
constant.
media age. We live in like
I'm gonna
an
tell y'all
age
some.
where
I'm gonna
people
tell you
think they
something that's
got
real though.
options. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you something that y'all not gonna want to hear, and this is one constant that's been constant throughout history, throughout the history of relationships. This is the one constant that has been constant, that is gonna be constant, that will continue to be constant. If you want a good relationship, there can only be one leader in that relationship. I hate to break y'all hearts. Anybody on this panel, I hate to break y'all hearts. Anybody in the chat, I hate to break y'all hearts. In a relationship, in a successful relationship, there can be only one true leader. It's up to y'all to decide who that leader is gonna be. But that's the only way to make it work. And when you pick that leader, the neck has to follow the leader and digest what the head is eating and then spit back what the head is eating. That's how you give the input. It's like the best example I could give is like, let's just say I told my girl, hey, quit this job and go get that one because I think it's gonna make you more money, right? And let's just say she quits the job and she goes and gets the one I tell her to go get, right? And she doesn't start making more money at it. Well, guess what I'm not allowed to do ever again? Give her the advice of finding a job and finding where I think she should work. Because I've proven to her that I do not have the ability to lead properly.
Wait.
Say
that again. Say that again. I got to hear that again. What you say?
I said that when it comes to leading, an example that I like to give is if I was to tell my girl, hey, this job that you're at right now, you're not making enough money. I want you to quit this job and go work at this job that I just found you. If I was to do that as a leader, and then she goes to work the new job and she doesn't work and she doesn't make as much money as she was at her previous job, I am no longer allowed to tell her where she should be working because I have failed as a leader when it comes to giving out advice, when it comes to showing and upholding my trust that she has in me to lead.
Okay. I got to push back on that.
Go ahead.
I got to push back on that point. So for me, I lead my home. I don't think you could discount it that fast because you're gonna make mess ups, you're gonna make mistakes, and we won't always make the best decisions. But I think that when you are the leader, that's part of what comes with it. So I'm transparent with my wife all the time. I tell her, hey, I'm taking a big risk, right now. I'm putting like $34,000 on a business venture that I'm trying. And I've let her know there's potential that this won't work. But if it doesn't work, at least you know that I'm trying with the best intention and I'm doing everything that I can to put us in a good situation. So I think with leadership, what you just said, that has been how a lot of us have conducted leadership for so many years, especially in the Black community, where we mess up one time and then think we have to lose that leadership status. You see it all the time. Every time one of us messes up in the community, it's instantly stones. We don't ever give each other grace enough to say, okay, cool, I messed up, but now I can try again. We don't give each other that space to grow. So with that, I had to push back on that because me as a leader, I'm going to mess up. I know I'm going to mess up. It's going to be stuff where I'm going to say, okay, yeah, do it this way, and it might not work out. But that doesn't make me less of a leader or mean that I shouldn't be a leader anymore because of it. So I wanted to push back on that point. I don't know if that's what you.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. No, you're making me think differently on it now. You really are making me think differently on it now. That's a good point. That's actually a great point because the Black community does do that a lot. Where if you make one mistake, oh, you can't trust that motherfucker. Oh, I gave him $10. I ain't get my $20 back. So yeah, that's a good point.
Doesn't the job prospect also, when you're applying, doesn't it tell you what the annual salary is going to be also?
Not necessarily. And that's more so like an example. Like let's just say it's a sales job or something.
Oh yeah, okay. The commission where the pay could range.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to, I mean, I know you were talking about, well, you were going to talk about like high value women and high value men. I'm real interested in that topic. I don't
Yeah,
hear
so
the high
let's
value
yes,
women.
absolutely. That's actually
conversation.
the next. That was actually the next topic. That's actually the next topic. So first off, and I kind of want to start with the ladies first. What does it mean? I want y'all to define to me what it means in y'all's definition. Y'all don't necessarily go based on the Google or the dictionary definition because these are new terms anyway. What does a high value man mean to you, and what does a high valued woman mean to you?
Okay. I'm just gonna go with the high value woman.
You're not the lady first. I said ladies first.
I said, oh, my bad. I didn't hear you before. I didn't hear you before. My bad.
Oh,
I
did
hear
you want to go first, Cali girl, or did you?
What can you phrase the question a little bit different? Like, do you want us to define the words, or
What is it?
as
No. I don't want you
You
to
want to
give
hear
me
our?
the.
What does it
I
mean
want
to
to hear
us?
what those terms mean for you. What does it mean for you in your terms and what it means to navigate the dating field for you? Because high value can is a, I feel like is a subjective point of view. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily equal across the board because some dudes value, like Dennis said, body over mind. You know what I mean? So
so I would say for both people, a big thing is being a person of integrity. So that means knowing yourself, internalizing enough to know what you bring to the world, how you can help the world, knowing your faults, um, and just like I said, being a person of integrity, doing the right thing even when no one else is looking, and trying to be the best person and being the best contributor to society that you can be. Like, I personally like being somebody or trying to be somebody that leaves a place better than when I found it.
I agree with her. I really do. To me, a high value man is a godly man, a man who leads with integrity, who has the ability to lead, whether it in the face of fear, in the face of chaos. They know how to remain level headed and make decisions well. And mind you, I understand not everybody is 100% right all the time. I know people are not 100% perfect all the time. We all make mistakes, but it all comes down to how you handle going about making those mistakes, how you rectify your past mistakes, like how you move um, in your everyday life. To me, that's what a high value man is. A man with integrity, a man who knows how to lead, who can make decisions, who knows how to rectify, when he's wrong about something. A man who has good character. I think that also goes hand in hand with integrity. But yeah, a man who does not cheat, a man who is loyal, a man who is ambitious. I think that's a huge component of a high value man is ambition. Um, and yeah, just somebody who is dedicated to personal growth. And I feel the same can be said, about high value women as well. A woman who has good character, has morals, has, integrity, is a godly woman. Yeah, that's what high value means to me.
does income have anything to do with high value at all? With high value,
That,
'cause
Not
y'all haven't
necessarily.
said
I
anything.
mean, but also mind you, you can't be like a bum and not work and call yourself a high value person. So I'm going to say money to an extent, yes, does play a factor. Like you can't be a bum and expect to call yourself a high value person. That's just anybody. Like you can't just
I
not
was
have
gonna
ambition,
add.
motivation to not work for anything.
I was gonna add. At the end of the day, no matter what, we're human beings. So every single person's point of view is going to be biased on what they value. So we can all give our own definition, but at the end of the day, it's all going to be biased because it's all going to be based on what we're seeking in a person and what we want to show to the world. Like I can't bash somebody for wanting a certain thing because that's going to be their point of view at the end of the day.
Well, I guess I'll go here.
Yeah,
It's simple, real simple. Men who ultimately, it doesn't matter the bracket of money, whatever you want to call it, that he makes, but a man who ultimately is putting his family in position to have a home, roof over their head, food on the table, vehicle, if you're living in a city that you need a car, protection, that would be a high value man. Now it extends to, being able to put the woman that he's with in position to be able, once again, to own at home, retire at a respectable age, et cetera, et cetera. That would be a high value man. And the woman, if she wants a guy that's going to give her, put her in a $500,000 house, she should get with that, a guy that earns enough to do that. But if a woman is simple, such as a woman in Youngstown, then she'll be happy with the guy having an $80,000 house. And, I would call that a high value man. High value woman, in my eyes, is a woman who is submissive, who's a man's peace, who's friendly, who is realistic, who is not going to go tell you to, cut the grass on a Sunday when she knows you're about to watch football. Just relax. We can do it on a Tuesday. No big deal. I think that's a high value woman because, in regards to women, nobody cares about money. Nobody cares about your education. Nobody cares about none of that, because a man would literally date a woman who's worth like negative $4,000 with, once again, a big booty and a nice rack, who's willing to be your piece. We would date that woman over a woman who's going to be a hell to deal with, who earns, 100,000 and, ultimately is educated. So that's my thought on high value man or woman.
Mine's is for high value man, he got to be like, hardworking, of course, hardworking, reasonable dude, you understand, and just got his life together. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he doesn't have to make a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? As long as he's good with finance, he got his life together. He doesn't come with a lot of baggage or don't come with baggage at all. That that's a high value man. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. With women, kind of like the same thing. Just you got your shit together. You don't come with a lot of baggage. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do not like to complain. You do not like to argue. And you are a reasonable person. Like, I think that's a high value woman. Like, don't come with no bull crap. Like, I just can't stand women that just don't have their shit together, but demand that a guy do this and this and that and that. That's crazy work. But that's just my view of your question.
So I guess I'll go real quick too. I know there are actual definitions of this stuff because before Kevin ever said it, this was already written. But from what I perceive it to be in simplest terms, a high value man is somebody who can put his family in the best position to have stability long term and consistently. And a high value woman, for me, from my perspective, is a woman who can provide the same type of stability that I'm providing for the family, but for the child and the husband, mentally, emotionally, and nurturing however she can. So that's how I would break it down in simplest terms. You could put numbers to and all that stuff if you want to, but I honestly think that it boils down to family, guys. That's what it boils down to for me, is family.
And it's funny because I don't know, Shannon, but are you in a relationship or anything by any chance?
Yeah, I've been married for 5 years now. I got a 4-year-old son with my wife.
And listen, and I'm gonna say something. Because again, especially people on panel, y'all know I took the time today to bring us all together, and I brought us all together to have a flowing conversation. Shannon, I don't know from Adam. I never met the man, and this is not scripted. But notice how earlier when I said, hold up, but notice when I said earlier, like you want to look at completion rates, you want to look at success rates, and I was talking about normally a 5-year kind of marriage or a 5-year kind of long-term relationship, something like that, is normally when you could start hearing some really good advice from some individuals. And I would have to say that Shannon has been giving some really good advice, because before I could even say it, the reason why I wanted y'all to go first is because I almost knew that y'all was gonna give some cookie cutter kind of like terms when it came to what a high value woman or what a high value man is. Like, I don't even consider myself a high valued man. I don't, because I'm not where I want to be yet. I don't have the ability to take care of a family long term with where I want to be, with what I see with my finances right now. You get what I'm saying? And a real high value man knows that about themselves, yes, but they also need to get to where they want to be at. And so that being said, that family aspect, what Shannon said, has a lot to do with that when it comes to being a high value man, because a lot of men, especially the nice guy mentality men, they have this mentality of, oh, well, I'm a nice guy, so that must mean I'm high valued. Brother, you are not. You can barely take care of yourself. And just because, and again, listen, I'm not trying to step on any toes, but I've had conversations like this with men before, where I have to tell you, like, hey, a real man can pay his own bills by himself in his own crib, pay his own lights, pay his own phone, pay his own car, pay his own gas, pay his own renter's insurance. A real man can do all of that and has done all of that. You know what I mean? For years. And what I've noticed is a lot, and especially in the millennial generation, is a lot of men are going back to living at home. A lot of men are having roommates. A lot of men are not. And I'm not saying it's nothing wrong with taking the time to invest in yourself, taking the time to not enter the dating field, to save up money so that you can stand on your own two legs. But a lot of men think they deserve to be in the dating field without working on themselves or bringing themselves up to a level to be able to even think about even going on a nice date.
I have a quick
for a week.
question. So the type of man you just described, you know, the not the one that lives with their parents or whatever, but you're talking about a man who has his own place, pays his own bills, blah 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 blah. How come we're not using the term single independent man in that situation, but a woman who does that same exact thing is a single independent undateable
women
woman?
coined that term. Because women coined that term.
That's
Men
a
don't
normal
go around
fucking adult.
because men don't
Well-
give it, because a man wouldn't give themselves a term to uplift themselves for some shit they supposed to do.
But my thing is, well, I don't know. There are some women who
Like
you have that mentality, that hyper independent thing.
all
But my
the
thing is,
things
that's
that I
like a
said,
standard.
you're supposed to do that. So
That's
you
what I'm saying.
wouldn't
That's
call
a
yourself a
standard.
single independent male, because that's a term. Those terms that women like to use are terms of endearment to make yourselves feel better for some shit you're supposed to do. Like, a man wouldn't use that term because you would sound like a beta. And I hate that I just used that term right now, because I don't use that term ever. But if I ever heard a man say I'm a single independent man, I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. But I'm just
What are
like,
you talking about? You're supposed to be able to be independent.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't believe in the term single independent women, because it's like, that's a standard normal adult who lives on their own. Like, who? Come on.
You
like
started
that-
off. You
that-
called
you gotta
yourself
blame
an independent woman at the
You
start
gotta
of
blame your sisters
this
on that one. You
conversation.
gotta blame your sisters then on that one.
Yeah, you called yourself
That's
independent.
what
I didn't. I
men
never.
didn't-
I'm just saying.
men
I
didn't
just called
coin that
myself
for
a
women.
single unmarried woman who lives on.
No,
her
no,
own.
you
Like,
said
that's-
you were independent at the beginning of this live. You
No,
literally said
Craig, did I say that? Y'all, did I
You
say
slipped.
that? I don't recall
You
saying
slipped
that.
and said you slipped and said independent.
No,
And I told you
I don't
that
recall
Cali
saying
girls
that.
like
I
that
said,
single
She didn't
independent.
do that.
No,
Okay,
I don't
well, I'm
recall
wrong. I'm
saying
sorry.
that. I remember in the beginning I called out the term, but I never referred to myself.
Okay,
as
that's
a
what I was
single
talking about. I
Yeah,
thought you used that.
she didn't say that. She said a lot of stuff, but she didn't say that.
I have a
Gotcha,
question
gotcha.
for you guys, since you guys had a question for us. I respect all your inputs and I get what you're saying. And I'm not trying to say I disagree, but my next question to that is, if the main priority of being a high value man is being able to protect his family and being able to pay for the things and housing and whatnot, then how do I say this? doesn't that kind of set you guys up to just be seen as a wallet if that's the main focus?
No, it's expected.
I'm not
They
I'm
think
not saying it's a bad thing. I just wonder because I know that there's a lot of people, both men and women, but people want to take advantage of others. So
Can
it's
I?
like, what if you do have like, and like, yeah, because I forgot this man's name, but the man in the corner, the married man. I don't
Shannon.
know. I forgot. There you go. So Shannon. So for instance, the scenario would be, say you're not married. I know you're married. I know you have a child and all
Yeah.
that, but say you're not married, and you know this economy, how it is, how everything is. Say you're not married, but you have a home, you have your life set up, you have everything good to go, and then you start dating a person. From like a man's perspective, do you not disclose that you have all those things? Because I would just think that if you disclose you or if you lead with all that, doesn't it make you more vulnerable?
Okay, so I love this. This is a great question. This is the thing about it. We have become so afraid of being utilized as men, and that's
I
the purpose.
completely agree. That's why I wanted to bring
Yeah.
this up.
For me, the point of me working hard, and my son knows this. I work from home and my office, and I have a full time job, and I build my own stuff at home. But I do it for my family. I build all this for my family. I can't take any of it with me. That is why it is so critical for us when we are, let's say, single, trying to find that right woman, to find the woman who I said brings those qualities of being able to be that mother and wife that I need, because then I can trust you. My wife's on my life insurance policy. She anything I have access to, she has access to. But it's because I trust her and I trust that she'll do what's right for our family going forward. I don't care about being used. I mean, that's the point of me being here, is to make every asset that I have available to them. The thing is that I have to make sure that everything is being utilized for the family. I think we put ourselves in a bad situation when we put all this money out front, and then we attach ourselves to the wrong folks who don't have our best interest at heart. I think you can probably tell if somebody has your best interest at heart. And I'll tell you this much. Let me add one more thing. I talk a lot, y'all. Let me add one more thing. My wife was with me through 2 or 3 job losses. So we've known each other for a while, but I lost my job during COVID and I lost my job before we moved. And both times she was with me the same exact way. So she showed me and earned all of the trust now to where we can build all this together. I don't know. I don't know if that answered the question, but I think that, us being okay with being utilized and just doing it in a safe way, I think that's the purpose of us men.
No, I totally get what you're saying. Yeah, and I just want to know the perspective because it's true. A lot of people are afraid of being utilized. And then on the flip side too, there are some women that are brought up, and I'm gonna say this as being a woman, okay? There are some women that are brought up to make sure that they exploit men. That happens too.
hmm I'm gonna be honest with you. This was crazy. Um, I think you have more women who are afraid of getting married. I hear that so many times when women are saying it's too early, I'm too young, I'm afraid to get married. And I told my wife this. I said, if anything, you would have more to gain by getting married because I
I,
have no security in all honesty.
I see the different. I see different, bro. I see women like Cali girl said, like they want to get married because they see like what these Instagram models are getting out of like the divorce, so they really just want to go after marriage. But it could be like that in different, like I said, different cities. So probably in your city it's probably different, but in like high end cities like Miami and Vegas and stuff like that, they will go for marriage because they know they're gonna win big in the courtroom.
Interesting. So yeah,
I've never
I'm not
heard
seeing that.
that. Crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess it just depends on age group too, right? Because it, I'm in a I'm in my 30s, and I know many women my age and older who are not married, not because they don't want to or because they're scared, but a lot of these women do want marriage, and a lot of them actually want, a traditional marriage at that. Like, contrary to popular belief, a lot of women, like I mentioned earlier, do want, you know, a man who can provide for his family, who knows how to lead a family. Unfortunately, a lot of these women are having trouble finding men who are suitable for that. And, you know, like again, like I said before, you know, different factors. There's no one size fits all reason. It's a very complicated dating scene in today's world, especially for people in their 30s. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's crazy. I've actually never met a woman who said that they're scared of marriage.
Young
Chopper, I
girls. I'm
feel-
talking
I
about
feel
the
you.
young
Okay,
ones,
young
though.
girls, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when you
younger
said
women.
30, yeah,
Yeah.
when you talking
I could see
30s,
that.
yeah. I mean, when you're 30, that's different, but I'm talking about young women are really afraid young and college age and right past college. I've heard this so many times where they say it's too early or you're too young, or people are telling them they're too young to get married. And I think that's crazy
But
because
Shannon,
And
Shannon, you know why that's
I think
happening?
that comes from jumping. Go ahead, Dennis.
No, you got. No, I was just gonna say, you know, it's happening because no offense to Cali Girl and Chopper, but it's happening because you have older, bitter women. I'm talking about because of the men they dated that treated them so bad that they're telling these young women that because of their experience, because you know, it's like that whole mentality that usually the young chick, you know, when they're like 18 to like 24, they're gonna date losers and you know the toxic men and you know the worst men for them, men that they know are gonna cheat on them. You know a guy's gonna like a lot of men, you know he's gonna cheat on you. He's known as the player, but you date him anyway. And because you guys had all that heartbreak, when now you're in your 30s now, you're going to then go and tell the younger women who are 19, 20, no, you don't want to be with a man. He's going to like, you know, exploit you and leave you when you get older, blah, blah, blah. And it's ruining it when these women are naturally, mentally, you know, America was better when these women were getting married at 22, 23 with a good guy, maybe a guy they met in college or a guy they knew from high school. They were high school sweethearts and the guy got a good full-time job, you know, construction or something. And he came up with his woman and now they get married at 22. The family, everybody signed off on it. And they got these 60, 70-year-old marriages like my grandparents had. But now that, you know, the women are pushing this whole, don't you want to find yourself? You want to be independent. You don't want to rely. Now these women are turning, you know, pretty much
I
28, 30.
gotta
don't
give
And
you
now
pushback.
I
I
don't
gotta
think
give you
this,
pushback.
yeah,
they're single and
this,
happy
Yeah,
and just miserable.
I
I don't
gotta
think
give,
this
Go
is
ahead.
I
on the
gotta give a
women
lot of
though.
pushback on that.
This is
A
not on
lot.
the women.
You got it.
The dynamic of dating is very different now. You have to remember back then, women couldn't open checking accounts, couldn't open credit cards, couldn't do anything
Yep,
on their own. They needed to be
exactly.
latched on to men to do anything in their life.
That's,
So women had to settle for dudes that were
they
cheating
had
on
no
them,
choice.
dudes that
They
had
had no
drinking
choice.
problems, dudes that were sometimes 12 years older than them, like dudes that were grooming them in the church. Like there's a lot of weird stuff that happened back then. And
Yep.
what you're seeing now
I'm
is that
talking
there's
about
just a lot
now,
more
not back then.
choice.
I'm talking about now in 2025.
Well,
The
that's the
women are still
thing.
getting married at 22 when they don't have like these independent women like in Idaho and freaking, you know, Montana and all these
Yeah,
places like
because
Maine.
it's a
They still get
population
married
of
at
like
Well, you
22.
don't know.
5,000
Well,
people
again, you
though.
know,
No,
like there
because
are
it's not
probably
modern
more.
women. Modern women don't live
No,
in those countries, in those states.
there are probably more marriageable men in those wherever you were talking
No, they're
about.
all
Let's
over the
be real.
place. It's
This
just
is
the
not
modern women don't want those men.
no. We're not putting this all on women.
But
Like there's
it's
some
yeah.
accountability that men have to have too. A lot of men are not. You know how many times I've actually heard men say, like a lot more men say, I'm not ready for marriage. I don't see myself getting married. I've heard that a lot more from men than women. So there's a reason why I could see why these young women are scared to get married, because a lot of men are not in it for the like. I remember seeing threads, like on Threads and on Twitter, like there were literal like comment threads, and it's like I've seen this multiple times throughout the year, like where men have came out and like admitted that their current wife that they decided to settle, they just admitted that they settled. They're not really in love with their wife. Their wife was not their first pick. Their wife was not their first
Women
love.
do that too, though.
I don't know, but maybe, you know,
Women do
No,
that too.
no, Chopper.
That's why you
Women
see.
do that too.
Can I be honest?
I'm sure they
I'm gonna be
probably
honest.
do,
You
but
wanna know how I know women do it? I know women do it because that's how you get kids, women with multiple baby daddies. That's how I know women do it.
Yep, bunch of pointless kids.
multiple baby daddies does not mean that they were married to those men. I'm not saying
Yes,
it was
it
right.
does mean that. It does mean that because you're willing
No,
to
a
settle
mar-
for this dude to fuck you. You're willing to settle for that person to fuck
But
you.
I'm not
You're willing
talking
to settle
about.
for
I'm not
this
talking
person
about
to
that. I'm
fuck you.
talking
And
strictly
each
based
time
on
it didn't
marriage.
work, so you're trying to
Hold on,
find a
Craig,
better
can I ask-
person each
No.
time.
You're turning this into a whole like baby mama, baby dad. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking
Craig, can
about
you ask
marriage.
Chopper this? Chopper, can you explain this? Why would a woman, if you know the guy is broke, he ain't got no money, he's more than likely not gonna take care of the kid, why would you let the guy? I don't want to be perverted, so let me just say it in the right. Why would you let him fill you or shoot your club up, fill you up? Why would you allow that to happen, knowing that he's
I'm
not
not
qualified
allowed.
to raise a kid?
I don't
No,
allow
I'm saying
men
because you
to
said
do
about the
that.
women with
So I
2 or 3
can't.
baby daddies.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't speak on that because that's not a population that resonates with me. I don't be doing that, and none of the women in my circle be doing that. So like that,
So
I
you
can't
don't got no
speak on
women with
that.
no baby daddies?
I have women who have their baby daddies they have been with for years, and it just didn't work out. That's different.
But think about
That is
it.
not
Why
no
would you?
multiple.
Why would they
That is
have a
not no
baby?
multiple baby daddy situation. That's
No,
like somebody that
what
you were
is?
committed to or even married to at some point, but
But
got
that's not a baby
divorced.
daddy then. That's the father of their
That's what
kid.
I'm
And that's
What
the
does
saying.
that
point.
That's what I'm saying.
mean?
So
Like,
I can't
and this is,
speak
I
on
think
that.
this is
Like
why I
I'm
don't have
not.
kids because I'm like,
Women are
what
okay
does
with
that
baby daddies.
mean?
That's
Like,
the
it
point.
didn't work out.
That's
Like,
what I'm
what does
saying.
that
I
mean? It
can't
don't
speak
work
on
out.
that.
Like, you're supposed to make it work out. I think
Exactly.
that's
For the
another
sake of the
reason. Like,
kid.
not even for the sake of
Yeah,
the kid, but like,
but you guys also forget that dudes leave.
No, that doesn't happen really. That
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 does
is
happen,
mostly
actually.
That does
women
happen a
don't.
lot.
No, women
listen,
don't want to get along, so they go and they break the
my
relationship
thing
off.
is, it's like
Men most of the time stay,
But
even if the woman
we
gets
can't
overweight and
it's
obese.
we can't
parts
make
to
a
this. It's two
blanket
parts
statement
to
over
this.
everybody's
Yeah,
relationships.
you can't
We
make a
just can't
blanket statement.
because
Like
there's a
I
lot of
It's
different things that happen.
two parts
exactly,
to this. It's two
because you
parts
don't
to
know
this.
why some of these you don't know why some single mothers end up being single mothers. Like you can't like stereotype them and say
I
that.
know why. I know why you would be a single mother especially if you weren't married in the first place. You're gonna be a single mother because you have terrible discipline. That's how you
not
become a
true.
single.
Well, there are single
That
mothers
is
who
true because
because
listen,
you're
if
you're stereotyping single mothers when there are single
no, I'm
mothers who
not
actually were
stereotyping
married
single
to the
mothers. I'm
father of their
telling you,
kid.
the way you become a single mother is terrible discipline. That's the way you become
But
a single
you're
mother.
Oh
talking
no,
about a
unmarried,
certain
unmarried,
you're talking about a certain type
unmarried
of.
single mothers,
But
unmarried
were
single
they
mothers,
okay?
and
Well, how about
unraped
we
ones.
narrow it down to this? Are
Unmarried
you
single
talking
I'm talking about
about? Are you
unmarried single
talking
mothers.
about?
I'm talking about unmarried single mothers.
Okay, but are you
Poor
talking
coochie
about single
management.
mothers who just let just like any random dude just like hit
Yes,
and get them
Chopper,
pregnant? Or are you
Chopper.
talking
You know
about
some.
somebody
that
who
have
was
never
in a
listen,
relationship with this man and they
listen,
got
Chopper. I'm talking about women that have never been married that have
okay?
children.
But what about in a relationship with the man that got them
Okay,
pregnant?
hold on,
I
Craig.
don't care if you're in a relationship. I'm gonna be real with you. Even if you're in a relationship, like you need to I think there always needs to be some type of form of protection being used if y'all are not
So
financially where y'all
okay, so let
need
me
to
ask
be.
y'all this.
First
So
off,
like,
I have
so
very
why is
extreme. I
it
have very extreme views. I have very extreme views, and I'm not afraid to say that.
so?
And one of my
Okay, so
views
let's
is
be
I
fair.
don't even think people listen. I don't even think people with the credit score below 680 should even be enjoying intercourse. That's just me personally. Because
So okay,
what it
The
leads
powerful
to,
handyman.
what it leads to is
Sheesh.
if you don't even have the mental capability to pay your bills on time and keep your credit score above a 680, why are you enjoying intercourse if that brings a child into this world and now you got to start paying bills for another human being and you can't even pay bills for yourself yet, but you're enjoying intercourse?
Craig, can I leave you out with this?
You got collections,
I'll
you
get
got
this
no
food.
intercourse.
70% of men in this country account for 20% of the babies. Just keep that in mind, Chopper.
that's what I'm saying. Like, my thing is, to what extent are we holding men accountable
Poor-
in single
You
homes?
women are
like
choosing
single
70% of
parenthood
men to
homes?
have 20% of the kids. Explain that to me. I mean,
Like,
No,
20%
but
of the
okay,
men.
but also it
70%
takes.
of the
My thing
kids.
is, it
Explain
takes
that to me,
two.
Chopper.
It takes
I don't
two.
have a
does
kid.
take
It's
two.
not just the woman making the
It does take
decision
two.
here.
Why
Like, the
not
man got her
choose the
knocked
other
up.
men than
No,
the
no, 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 no.
20%,
But my
Chopper?
thing is, it doesn't matter. It takes two to tango. Why are we only putting the blame on women? Like, when
Because
the
you're
men
choosing
also
20% of the
no,
men to
because
make
the
babies
men
with.
are
I
the
blame
ones
men.
getting
I
them
blame
pregnant
men.
too.
I blame
Like,
men too. I blame men
yeah,
too.
that's what I'm
If
saying. To what
anything,
extent are we holding men accountable here? That's not fair.
no, that's why
Because
I
it takes
say
two
that's
to
why I say
tango.
all Americans. I say any American with a credit score below 680 should not be enjoying intercourse. You just shouldn't be doing it because you can't pay your bills. Your bills are late. You have okay credit. Like to buy a car, it's gonna be like
I'm thinking
you're
about
you're gonna be looking at
people's credit
16.9
scores right now, and
APR.
it's making me laugh because
Like,
that's a really
don't even
good
get me
point.
started.
Oh,
And you
God.
know what's even worse? You know what's even worse? We in one of the worst times of dating field right now because now we looking at quote unquote educated women, and y'all student loans just kicked in. So now y'all's credit scores is like 580. We talking about women's with bachelor degrees everywhere, and these credit scores is at
Okay,
580.
women
And
are
so
not the only ones who have
hold on,
bachelor's degrees.
hold on. But listen, I know it's not only women, but for the most
It
part,
just sounds
hold on,
like, I don't know, it
hold on.
just
Let me
kind
get
of
this
sounds
out.
like
Let
you
me get
have a
this out.
bias towards educated
No.
women.
Let me
Like,
get this out because
we're not the only ones who are
This is
educated.
everybody. This is everybody because men are doing piss poor and so are women. And this is the whole reason why. Because as I wrap this conversation up, because I don't want it to really go past 3 hours, to be honest with you. But as we wrap this conversation up, we have to start talking on the things in which we can start to create change. And one of the things that I've noticed is there are an epidemic of bum ass dudes not going to college, right? But think they deserve to be in relationships. But there's also an epidemic of women that consistently stay in college, that consistently go to school for pointless degrees, that consistently go to school, get these student loans, and are now in tons of fucking debt and can't do shit with it. And now their credit scores is piss poor. They can't even sign a fucking.
Frank, where are you getting this information from? Where are the percentages?
I used to sell
here? Where-
cars.
This is
I used to sell
not-
cars. Listen, Karina, I used to sell cars. So you got to understand, I actively dealt with people's credit scores and predominantly APRs and interest rates. So when I dealt with women, and I dealt with a lot of women that had degrees, and the average
From one
APR for these
CarMax.
ladies was 8. Okay, one CarMax in Houston. One CarMax in
Okay,
Houston.
yeah, that doesn't account for the,
It does account because
entire
that's a large
population.
metropolitan city. That's a large metropolitan city.
That's just one dealership.
It doesn't
in
matter. I was in the
Houston.
major deal. I was in the number. Can I be honest? I was in the number one dealership in CarMax. I was in the number one store for CarMax for fraud in America. So that should tell you something. That should tell you something. So I got to see a lot of things when it came to the credit game. So what I'm trying to tell you is this: if women's everywhere, if women and men's, but mostly women, because women are outpacing men when it comes to being collegiate educated, right? When it comes to being college educated, women are outpacing men. So what is this going to tell you? Is that more women are going to go get student loans because not many women are getting Pell Grants, the federal loan grants. They're not graduating with scholarships. That's BS. What's happening is
Credit, Craig.
huh?
No, my bad.
What is happening is y'all's credit scores everywhere are tanking. And now this is putting the dating field into the worst time ever, because now is women with college degrees are not gonna want to settle for normal men, right? So they're gonna be walking around here trying to flex with these college degrees, not even able to do anything because their credit scores at 580 and they can't even sign the dotted line on anything.
I don't know. I think that's a wild
Hey,
statement.
Craig, I'll keep it real with you. The people that are on top of it with their credit score and their student loans, they paid those loans off during the pause in the pandemic. So I'll give you that one. Because I know a lot of my friends, they were like 60, 80K deep, and they paid it all off when it was paused these last 5 years.
Is it because the stimulus checks?
Most Americans did not
No,
do that.
because they
No stimulus
worked
checks
and
ain't nothing.
yeah, the stimulus checks are like $1,200. Like that's it. It's
Yup.
because of the pause in the loans
And
from the
so listen,
pandemic.
with money
Like the
being a
majority of my friends paid everything off because there was no interest accrued.
with money being a huge factor in dating, you know what I mean? This is gonna fuck up everything because now, and that's why I say dating should be done on credit scores. And y'all think this is a game. That's why I keep bringing it up. Dating, y'all. The first thing I would ask if I was in the dating field is, what's your credit score? Straight up. If you told me anything that didn't begin with a 7, I would move on. I don't care if I worked at a Chili's and lived in a bad apartment. If I got a 730 credit score, you need a 730 credit score.
So
This is coming real full
whatever
circle
happens,
from
this
that cheap
contradicts
comment
what your
earlier.
boys have said earlier about you take a woman for as is and you don't care if they're broke or not.
Who said that?
No, I said that. I said my majority of men would take women as is.
Majority.
Craig's the
I'm not- I'm-
exception.
I'm-
Craig's
I'm-
cheap.
Yeah, we do.
I'm the exception.
Yeah,
I said
Craig
I'm
won't buy
cheap.
Yeah, we do.
Craig
I'm
won't
cheap.
buy a chick a bottle of chocolate milk.
Yeah, remember that. I'm cheap. I'm different.
That's
that's
big talk
horrible.
from a guy that got a 700 credit score. Like I expect you to buy them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
How you think I get a 700 credit score? You ain't got no
Yeah.
You gotta
deal.
maintain, huh?
You're
Bro,
over
the
here
way you
talking
get a
about
700
credit
credit
score,
score
talking
is you
about
don't
It's
buy
not
shit.
what you make,
What?
it's what you
Don't-
keep.
Yeah.
It's not what you make, it's what
Yeah.
you keep.
Pay back.
Man,
can't-
let me
can't
tell
pay
you
back-
something.
I gotta.
Hold on. You can't pay back $2 out of your credit for chocolate for a female.
Ain't
That's
happening,
what I'm
homie.
saying.
Listen, motto. I should have it on my
Yo.
shirt. Come fed. Come
See,
fed.
And I'm telling you, like,
There's a McDonald's right next to my house. You didn't stop at it and get you something to eat.
nah, man.
Okay, but
You
real
waited-
talk,
you waited to
what
come to
happens
my
when you
house.
go over to
Wait,
other
hold on,
people's
hold on.
house?
You mean to tell me you came to my house to tell me that you hungry when you passed the McDonald's on the way here? You mean to tell me you stopped at my house to tell me you hungry when the McDonald's is right next to the crib?
Okay,
Craig,
but do you ask people to eat when you go to their house?
Nah, never. I'm fed. I come fed.
Craig.
I come fed.
Craig. Come on,
Hey,
man.
Hey, Raymond,
Come on,
real
man.
talk. When we went to Vegas and shit,
Yo.
Raymond, real talk. When we
Craig.
went to Vegas and shit, I'm an excellent host, ain't I? I'm a really good host, ain't I?
Wait.
I'm
yes.
very giving.
Wait. You're an excellent host, but don't say come and fed, and you was asking me for my damn sub.
Nigga, 'cause you had two. You had two, bro. You had two.
Damn.
It don't matter if I had three, bitch. I brought in my money. It don't matter if I had three. You said come fast. I came fast. I bought three. Okay, you said come in fast. So I'm going off what you said, Craig. So don't say in this panel talking about you go to people's houses and you eat. Nah, nigga, you know who you are, Craig.
But no, I'm saying that's the problem, and I think that with this dating, with the problems with the problems with dating is men and women get into this man versus woman talk all the time, not realizing that the problem is right in the fucking mirror. The problem is right in the mirror. Your problems with your failures with men have a lot to do with what's in the mirror. You know what I mean? And I can only speak to men right now, especially. You have to watch, just like Dennis is saying, pussy management. Watch your passion management. Men, learn what passion management is. Because just because it's like Shannon was saying, just because your passion is wrestling, just because your passion is collecting Yu-Gi-Oh cards, once you start thinking that she got to love me for me, and that's what I hate. I hate terms that she got to love me for me. No, she don't. No, she don't, and she won't. Because you are lame. Who you are is lame. And no one wants that. I'm not saying change.
So
I'm not saying fake who you are. But what I am is saying be dateable.
So okay,
It's just like
stop watching
it's like
Crunchyroll. I can't watch no more Crunchyroll.
Hold on. It's like if you're let me finish getting this out. It's like if you're a fat ass, right? And you talking about some love me for me, but you're a fat ass and nobody wants a fat ass. But you want to sit there and keep saying, but I want to find somebody that's going to love me for me. Well, the people that love fat asses are going to be other fat asses, but you don't want a fat ass. So that being said, don't you think you need to look in the mirror and work on some shit to get what you want? Because lame niggas can find other lame fat bitches, but that's not what they want. The problem is with lame niggas, they want some fine bitches. And you don't deserve that because you lame. You don't deserve it because you choose to be who you are. You choose to be that way. Controversial take.
That's where Craig
Amen.
and I,
God is good. I respect and agree with all that.
Okay,
I want to hear from the
I
main
want to
man.
hear. Yeah, I want to hear what Shannon has to say.
On what specifically? Because y'all been a little all over the place, and I want to make sure I'm not
we
attacking the
talking
wrong
about
point.
credit. I want to hear about the credit part.
what my credit score is?
No,
Anything,
My credit
anything that Greg
score.
said,
no,
anything that Greg
don't
said,
reveal
like, if
that.
you have any
Are you
No.
gonna date
information about
someone
everything
if they
he
have
just
like a
said.
600 credit score? Like I need to know.
Yeah,
You
no,
the
I'm
married
gonna
one.
be
I need
honest.
to know.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you. My wife, she still says it to this day, but she told me she actually tested me when we first started dating because I'm cheap. So I'm cheap, but I'm also I'm giving at the same time. And I never asked her for her credit score. I never cared how much money she made. I never asked her for a dime. Um, but what she did was she one day when we were first dating, she tried to get me to spend a lot of money on something. And she said, "Hey, look, it's something. It's like $300." And I had the money, but I was like, "I'm not doing that." I'm like, "That's crazy. That don't make sense." And she still remembers that. So everything that
Bless
I've
you.
been, I mean, yeah, bless you. It's ways for you can be. I don't like that word cheap, man. That word eats at me because it's not cheap. It's not really frugal. I would say it's calculated. You have to be calculated financially. And I tell my wife this all the time. Y'all, man, it's a hot take. But I do think a lot of women wind up broke even when they go the independent route and make a lot of money. And I've seen this for generations. I have a mother who's done it, grandmother who's done it. They make a lot of money, but they don't know how to keep the money long term. So it typically just goes right out the window to whatever they're liking to do. And as the man, this is part of the leadership role that we have to step into. We have to be the ones who have to say no sometimes. We have to say, no, it's not a good investment. It doesn't make sense for us to buy right now. Maybe we wait for a couple months. It doesn't mean no forever. And that is where I think a lot of, because there are stats about stuff like this, where most marriages end because of money fights. Imagine how many money fights you have when you have women who are coming in with all their money or trying to make money, and then they're like, no, you're not going to tell me what to do with my money. That is a whole dynamic that me as a man, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to be trying to manage your money, because when you're married, your credit debt is my debt. Anything that you sign on, I'm signed on. If you make a poor financial decision, we're both making poor financial decisions. So for me, it was easy to just say, look, I'll take care of everything. You don't have to worry about bills. I'll make sure you got everything you need, and we'll get a lot of stuff that you want. But I have to run this. And I run all the finances in the home. Her credit score has jumped up over 200 points. She has no debt anymore. And mine's is doing amazing, and we're on the same page. We got peace. So that's my controversial take. I don't think your woman needs to work. Man, that was really controversial. I want to hear some takes on that, some opinions on that.
No, it's
Yeah,
not
and like
controversial.
and like
I don't think that's not controversial.
like I said,
That's
and like I said
reasonable.
with the whole money thing, man. Like that's why I said I don't think people should go off. No, like you should date somebody that's responsible with money and that is financially stable, but don't just pick pocket watch and be like, oh yeah, you need to make this one, because like I said, like he said, like he knows women that make a lot of money and they go broke. Like money comes and goes. You know, it's like you just can't control that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like life will flip you on your ass. Like you just can't control that. Like so you should just go by character and like Dennis' favorite word, pussy management. So or you know what I'm saying? And guys too. Guys need dick management too, because they stick in everything in any hole. But I'm just just that's just to answer that to reflect on that what he said.
It sounded like the ladies wanted to add something to it. Unless I'm mistaken, I thought Chopper was going to say something back to it.
Wait, Chopper's quiet? That's scary. That's not good.
No, I wanted to hear what he had to say because, I like to hear from the married man's perspective, and like he has a very sounds like he's in a healthy marriage from what the way it sounds. Uh, so yeah, like touching what you said. Again, that's why I keep saying for me, it's not about necessarily the money, but I do care about how a man manages finances. That's important. That is important to women. Like if we want a man who is a provider and y'all want a woman who can, allow you to lead and submit to you, yes, you have to know how to make the right decisions with finances. Like, and that's not a crazy ask. And it's just crazy that like when it comes down to it and we're asked, oh, how much does a man have to make, or how much, like you want to date a man who makes way less than you, like it's not a crazy thing that, when I have the answers that I have, because, it all comes down to that. Like, yeah, do you know how to manage your finances no matter how much you make? Ideally, I would want you to continue wanting to make more, because you should want the ability to provide for your family without struggling all the time, without us having to fight about money. Like, that's not a crazy thing to ask as women. It's not, especially if we want a man with a provider mentality.
I agree.
I agree.
Yep.
Dennis, do
So
you
as we
agree?
start to wrap it up,
No, I agree with everything you
statements,
said.
man.
I agree with everything you said. I mean, you gotta remember Shannon's what men used to be. He's one, no offense, one of the good blacks and just a good American. Okay. He reminds me a lot of my grandfather. That's how my grandfather was,
Black.
except he was bad with money. No, literally,
He's
I
a
bring the
good
good
black.
blacks to my channel.
Talking about upholding the white supremacy. Let's go.
What are you talking about? No, I'm saying Shannon is the representation that
I
we
get what you
need
said.
in
I
our
get what you
culture.
said. That's just
Like,
funny.
if you look at media, you look at YouTube, you look at Twitter and everywhere, he's not, they're gonna call him a cornball, they're gonna call him, like pretty
Damn.
much he's not.
Damn,
No.
what?
Why they gonna say that?
Shannon's
What's
just
going?
chilling.
No, let me hold on. Let me
Chilling.
Why
no,
I
let me
gotta
break
be
it down.
living
Hold
his
on.
life.
Hold on, guys.
Has
Hold on,
not
guys.
gotten
Let
a
me clean
wild
it up. Let me
reaction
clean it
out
up.
of me.
No, let me clean it up. Let me clean it up real quick.
I
So
got you.
me,
I get what you're saying.
prior to a week ago, I wouldn't get a job. I was doing gig work. I was broke and dusty, and I would wear these nice Nike suits. I got from like sports betting and stuff. And chicks would literally like holler at me before Shannon because he's more of like man about integrity, structure, discipline, respect. He's going to be, more so like the proper man that our community needs. Me, I'm chaotic, so I'm not going to hold women accountable. I'm going to be a little bit more fun because I allow toxic and chaos and just ignorance. Shannon's probably going to dismiss that woman and move on. He's not going to play that. I'm going to play that game a little bit because I'm a mess. So what I'm saying is Shannon is what kids in our community needs as fathers. Shannon's what our women need to, make babies, ultimately make babies with.
You're gonna make
marry.
me the enemy, man.
No, I'm saying, like it's
I know
messed
what you.
up
I know
because
what you. I know what you're
yeah,
saying.
because
but
there's
it's
other
like
black men that came on
some
my
stuff-
channel like you, and they got
Yeah.
pushed away, and they got called Uncle Tom Coon and blah 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 because
Yeah.
they're proper.
Wow.
No, I'm just keeping it real.
I don't think
No,
that
I said,
about
but hold
him.
on,
He's
hold on.
just at home
Let me
chilling.
say
I
this.
just
Let me say this.
I'm like,
Think about all the other
home.
black. Craig,
Hold
think
on,
about all
hold
the
on,
other black men.
Hold on.
You just
Craig,
throw
think
it
about all
on
the
to
other
this
black
man.
men.
I gotta defend myself though. I gotta defend myself.
Yeah.
I'm from Detroit though. I'm from Detroit, so it's a balance. I think if you just straight up went up, and did all this stuff that way, I think it's a lot different. But from Detroit, I mean, I have a lot of stuff I had to grow into. And when you say this stuff, I appreciate it. It's just when we do pedestal, and it sucks, man. But if you do pedestalize a black man, that black man now becomes a target. And that's what sucks about it. So I'm like, I appreciate it, but you don't even need to say it. Just let it go, because then everybody gonna be trying to attack me and find all these little things about me, and I ain't got time. I'm trying to just do my thing out here, man.
But that's the point. Black men shouldn't do that. We should praise you and say, bro, you are the example. Just like I give Craig props. Craig is an example. I don't know Remy all like that yet, but so I'm not gonna I'll be like whatever it's called. I would be glazing for saying anything. I don't know him all like that yet, but Craig and Shannon, y'all know both. Craig already knows. I call him what black men need to be. Like he works hard, respects his woman. He's holding down. He got a house. He's doing everything that black men need, which is why, even though we used to crash out because I wanted to be a brokey, he used to feel bad for Cali girl because I just, I was just terrible. And I wouldn't man up. I ultimately would always forgive him because he's right. I need to be with my son. I need to get a job. I need to do all these things. So even though I act stupid and crazy sometimes, I know what black men used to be because all the people in my family, ultimately black, all the men, and they used to be strong, welfare. They held down their women. They did everything. But now it's a lot of struggles because we praise the Lil Wayne, the drug dealers, the athletes. We praise them and not the Shannon and the Craigs. So that's all I was saying.
Yeah, but I'm just, but this is the thing when you said that guys like Shannon be kicked off your panel on your platform and stuff.
I wouldn't kick him off though.
No, I'm just saying the dudes that be on there. You gotta remember your fan base. Most like the dudes that's in there. I ain't gonna say all of them, but the people that I've seen that you bring in the panel are kind of like dudes that just like one dude was sleeping in his car because he just didn't want to pay the government for rent and stuff like that. So I'm just saying, of course, they're gonna kick somebody out like Shannon out of that group. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, they don't like you gotta understand. My channel started off as a struggle channel. So I was struggling in the car, dusty, and it was all about middle-aged people coming on, and we were late. We were all dusty. We want to like do gig work to eventually be rich somehow. Fantasy world, nobody wanted a job. So now that I'm like, whenever I'm prospering and I'm doing good, the channel gets worse because people hate good. Now, for some reason, because I blocked everybody, the channel is positive now. But Craig knows he be seeing people in the comments still talking about, dude, are your audacity of you having a job now you think you're too good? No, I told you guys I'm bad. Come on here and roast me if you want to. I'll give you the floor because I was talking about W2 people and I haven't had one in 19 years because I had businesses. So all I'm saying is if I would have had a friend like, Shannon or Craig in person, then I would have probably got a job sooner. And I'm trying to help Nab out. My Nab, the homie. I'm trying to get him
Can
to
I
get off his
can I push back?
gig work and get a job. Go
Can
for
I
it. Go
push
for
back?
it.
I feel you on that. But then
Yeah,
as a
go for it.
person who was in a relationship with you, who was sleeping next to you at night and telling you you needed a job, how come my opinion didn't matter that much?
I knew it was gonna
Because
get to this. I knew
yeah,
it was
I
gonna
knew she was
get
gonna
to
say that
this.
because ultimately you might be. I don't care if you're mad. You just need to understand that we're not going men. We're not gonna relate to what a woman's telling us to do compared to what a man who you trust,
Yeah, but
you're
why
cool with,
but
you're
why
tight with,
devalue
what
my
they tell you.
opinion that
Yeah,
much?
bro. Listen, I'm gonna be real. That's your queen, though. That's your queen. It's different.
I
It's
just
different.
okay, because
That's your
this is my
queen, bro.
thing. Why devalue my input if at the same breath you want to like have a future with somebody or like be married to them, all that stuff? Like, why not take
Because I
what
was
they're
doing
saying or what they're suggesting seriously? If you want them to
because
take
my
you
life was
seriously, why
good.
don't you take them seriously?
So if we want to like, here's the
Because
thing,
that has
and
to
I don't
do
want
with
to go too
dating
deep into it. I
too,
don't want to
right?
go. Okay, I don't want to go. Here's the thing. I don't want to really go too deep into it because it's going to start another, and I got to get to sleep for work. But here's the situation, Cali girl. Look, it's this simple. Before I met you, I was successful. My YouTube channel just went viral. I was making from YouTube a little over 2,500 a month. I was doing my gig work. I was successful. I gave all that up to ultimately move across the country. So a lot of it was resentful to being told to get a job when my whole 19 years, other than 2 years of my life, I've made over 90,000 a year doing, things for myself, either gig work or sports betting or something. I was making 90K a year. And the reason why I didn't have nothing was because I was doing what most Americans do in this country, live paycheck to paycheck, and we spend all the money we got and just wait till we get paid again. So that's the reason why I don't want to listen to
I
nothing
just
you're
want you to
saying
know
because
after that explanation that I had your best interest at heart the whole time. I
you
have a
did.
great
Now I
credit
told you
score.
did.
I have a structured life. I have a career. I have a successful life in general. I'm
Like, I got
definitely a
credit score.
person that puts my money where their mouth is.
Yes,
And
sir.
that's why I'm trying to understand, like,
Okay,
that's why I
so
asked those
now,
questions.
this is why I told you before we did this live. Don't do what you're doing right now. Here we go. First off, you live by yourself? Have you had to go into debt to live by
But
yourself? I
listen,
moved out of my mom's house.
So listen, I don't want
Craig, you gotta
y'all.
let me
I don't
finish
want
my
y'all to
point.
have y'all personal. I don't want y'all to
No, we're
hash
not
out
gonna
y'all
crash out, but
personal
you gotta
business
you
on
gotta let me
live.
land the
Yeah,
plane. You gotta let me land the
I
plane
know,
though.
but like even then, listen, Dennis. I don't want y'all. I want y'all to have these conversations privately. I don't want y'all to have them
But I don't know
publicly on
why
my
she opens up
platform.
this can of worms
Cali
every single
girl,
time. It
but
wasn't that
listen, I
deep.
know. So listen, Cali girl. With all due respect, that is a very valid question, and Dennis, she deserves a real valid answer off panel, personally, off this channel. But I'm gonna be honest, I do think she deserves, because it does. I have that same problem within my relationship where like I give advice and the person will take the advice from the friend rather than taking the advice from me when I've been saying this thing for years. You know what I mean? So what I want you to do, Dennis
Happens
and
all
Cali
the
Girls, I want y'all to have this. Yeah, it happens exactly. Shannon, I'm glad you said that.
No, I get.
I'm gonna tell you, don't
get that.
Cali girl. I want to say this. I don't know y'all, but please don't take that person. Look, my wife do the same thing. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I've told her so
It's a
much stuff,
relationship
and she
thing.
could come back.
It's a relationship.
No,
I think it's just she get normalized with people.
But Shannon,
But no,
wife,
Dennis,
would she
we're
come
not
on
taking no
would she
sides.
come
We're
on a
not taking no
YouTube
sides.
platform? No, but here's I've been
Dennis,
on it for
stop,
3
stop.
hours, and I'm about to look crazy
And I know,
ending
and
this
let's not,
live
and
because
let's not even
we're
highlight,
ending that note.
let's not highlight that moment in time. Let's not highlight that moment in time, because what we not gonna do is, at the end of the day, this is what we want to do on this particular channel, is we want to create a way for people to find answers. Yes, we will have conflict. Yes, we will have spicy moments. But again, one of the main rules that I said before we started this panel is we're not going to air out anything personal. We're not going to take any personal jabs, and we're not going to talk about anything personal that's lateral outside of the conversation that we had. I
She
said
didn't
that.
get the message.
And so, no, stop.
And I
Dennis.
told her in advance
You
not
do.
to do it.
She does. She deserves. No, stop. She deserves. And promise me, brother, that you will give her that closure, because she deserves it, bro. She like
No,
that answer.
I'm
That question.
not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna go on my channel, and then we can do it on my channel. But I'm not gonna let her publicly do this again. I told her not to do this again, and she did it again. It's like, why? We had this
No.
conversation.
It's nothing
She knows
publicly
why I
happened.
didn't listen.
Nothing publicly happened. Nothing.
It
Listen.
did. We just sat here for 5 minutes of
No
her
one
berating me.
besmirched you. You're not besmirched. You're not besmirched. You're not besmirched. You're good. You're good. Listen, your public credibility is fine. Nothing. That's why I stopped it. That I told you. My job today is to moderate. I told you that. So what I'm saying is this: after we get off of live, y'all discuss the private things that y'all have. There's a good dynamic between y'all, because y'all have a different relationship dynamic than the normal. What does the title say? Modern love, right? This is not traditional love. This is modern love. You get what I'm saying? So the questions that we're asking, the things that we're going to be talking about on this channel, we're talking about things that affect our generation, our peers, everything that's happening now. You get what I'm saying? So don't feel, bro, fuck chat. I'm gonna be honest with you. Fuck what chat's saying. Fuck everything else, bro. Y'all handle y'all shit offline, and y'all talk it out. But bro, she deserves that answer, because that shit would piss me off too. You over here taking advice
She
from
already
everybody
had
else.
Craig. She already knows.
I
That's
know,
the point.
I know,
We just talked
I
about
know.
this. She knows.
I know.
She's
but
just doing it
talk about
grandstanding. She's just doing it because we're on this platform. She was doing it just like she does this all the
But hey,
time.
I did it.
I just don't get why she continues doing
I
this.
did it. I did it. So we good. So we're good. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, and I just I just want to say I appreciate everybody that came to this live, Dennis, Chopper, Shane, and I appreciate, because I really, and to be honest, tonight was a success. You know, I was kind of second guessing it.
I was a little scared.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of second guessing it. I was probably gonna go to sleep. But I'm happy I did it. I'm happy I stick it through with Craig, and it ended up being a good show. I ended up learning a lot from everybody and seeing different mindsets. So I'm happy. And I see the chat. The chat people was engaging, so I'm kind of happy this was all a success. And I think we should do a round two.
Absolutely,
So, yeah.
absolutely. And what we'll do is, like I said, we'll coordinate it. I'll coordinate it with everybody and stuff like that. Again, I want to I like this dynamic that we have going on. And again, I want to say thank you everybody, to every single panel member over here. Like every single one of y'all has something different and a great perspective to bring to the same table. Dennis, I want to say above all, like you're amazing, bro. You're amazing with what you're able to do when it comes to
Appreciate that.
to getting people involved in the conversation. Like from jump, I could tell everybody was timid, but you got everybody out their comfort zone, and bro, we need that. I love that about you, bro.
Definitely.
Raimi, same thing, bro. Like I appreciate your real mindset. Karina, same thing. You and Dennis are the two sides of the same coin, which is wild to me. I never would have thought that. But y'all, it's like y'all are like
opposite ends.
Yeah. Cali girl, you have no clue how much I respect the fact that you even decided to even pull up. You have no clue. I mean
And
that.
Cali girl, I must say,
Thank
I'm
you.
so happy you joined, because I was literally scared of being the only woman on this panel.
No, it's all
And
good.
you
It's all
had a
good.
lot of great points, and I appreciate you joining me as
and Shannon.
the other
Shannon,
female
please.
perspective.
DJ invited me. Thank you.
And Shannon, to you, I want to say thank you as well, because your mental intellect. Again, there's a reason why as soon as I saw your name, I immediately wanted you on panel, because you just have a great way with getting people to understand how can I put it? Not your ordinary way of thinking about things. You get what I'm saying? You're able to make people think about things differently. And I respect that from you, bro. And I really do appreciate you, especially with the fact that you have a great marriage and you're able to kind of, help us try to attain that as well. So I appreciate all of y'all.
You.
Is it there's y'all want to say? Go ahead, say it before we wrap up.
That's all I got. I appreciate, the conversation. I mean, this is different. I didn't have to listen to people for freaking 6 hours, putting me to sleep. So I appreciate that. You guys were all dope. Next time you do it, just let me know. Give me a heads up, and then I'll make sure I'm here.
Absolutely, it's gonna be soon, because consistency is what we're gonna be keeping it up. This is, again, all y'all. I implore all y'all, start y'all channel up, man. You know what I mean? Go ahead, get y'all channels going, because we're gonna be doing this consistently. This is gonna be a consistent thing. We're gonna get started. You know what I mean? So shoot, I want to try to do another one sometime real soon, man. Real soon. DJ, hey, they talking about a response video. We definitely gonna need that, bro.
No, I don't know if I'm gonna necessarily do a response video. Tomorrow I'm gonna be on live, after I get done. So
bet I might pull up. Yeah, man.
All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. Well,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Me too.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, appreciate.
Talk to y'all later.
All right, y'all. So listen, I want to just thank everybody for pulling up in chat too. I know I thanked everybody on panel, but I didn't get a chance to thank y'all in chat. Man, y'all did not have to pull up the way y'all did. Y'all came in droves. Y'all came in droves, man, to come support your boy. And y'all have no clue. I really want to create something new here on this channel. I really want to have this a space where we have conversations that's hard to have. Conversations in which we can actually learn something, walk away we really felt like we learned something. You know what I mean? Something that make us not really want to turn on the TV, but want to just pop on the YouTube and be here for hours. I mean that. Thank you, Bert. Thank you, Miss Brazy. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you, B-Vaz. Thank you, Driving Wealth. Thank you, Ski. Thank you, everybody that pulled up. All y'all. That being said, man, listen. We about to go ahead and sign on out of this thing.